Chapter 722. Insect Cultivator. The blood chi around Ningfan's body seemed to be burning. All of a sudden, he raised his hand and pointed his finger. A streak of blood-red light shot out of his finger, instantly transforming into billions of blood-red sword lights. The sword light slashed through the dense swarm of insects. Countless flying insects were cut into two, but they did not die. Instead, they split into two, becoming two flying insects. The more he killed, the more insects there were. The bug-headed giant sneered in disdain. My bug technique is least afraid of sword cultivators. Immortal art, black net. The giant changed his hand seal and the swarm of insects that kept proliferating rushed toward Ningfan, drowning him within the sea of insects. The bodies of these black insects were not hard, but their teeth were terrifyingly sharp. Even though Ningfan had already attained the third transformation of Corpse Devil Realm and the defense of his physical body was almost comparable to a peak Nirvana Realm body cultivator, he still could not defend against the sharp teeth of the black insects. If there were no accidents, this boundless swarm of insects would only need a breath's time to devour Ningfan until not even his skin and bones remained. This scene reminded Ningfan of a man-eating ant swallowing an elephant. Bang! With a muffled sound, Ningfan's physical body disintegrated into a mist of blood and vanished. At the next moment, Ningfan's physical body reformed in a faraway place amidst rays of black starlight. With this, he temporarily avoided the swarm's attack. When they saw Ningfan trying to escape, the swarm of insects seemed to have gone mad. They swarmed towards Ningfan again. You're not afraid of sword cultivators, but I wonder if you're afraid of fire cultivators. Burn. Ningfan opened his mouth and breathed out raging black flames. In an instant, this small piece of starry sky was completely engulfed by the black flames. Countless flying insects flew into the black flames and were easily incinerated into ashes. This time, the swarm of flying insects could no longer multiply. Immortal fire. I didn't expect you to have such a technique. It seems like ordinary insect techniques are useless against you. Immortal technique, Insect Dragon. The insect-headed giant changed its hand seal, and countless dark red flying insects appeared around it. These flying insects didn't seem to be afraid of fire. They suddenly flew towards the insect giant and attached themselves to its body. Crimson light flashed, and the insect-headed giant transformed into a crimson dragon that was over 60,000 feet in length. However, the wyvern had the head of an insect and looked extremely strange. Immortal technique, blood decay. The scarlet dragon insect opened its mouth and breathed out rays of red light. As soon as the red light shot out, it immediately turned into red mist that blotted out the sky and covered Ningfan. Within the red mist, Ningfan's body began to melt into a puddle of blood. Even the black star art could not completely resist the melting process. It could only slow down the melting process. If the life-immortal old lady was at her peak, she could instantly kill a late-stage human Xian with her blood decay technique. Currently, the old lady's cultivation base had fallen to the mid-human profound realm due to Ningfan's sneak attack. The destructive power of this technique had also been greatly reduced. Now, it could only kill an early human profound realm expert. However, in the old woman's opinion, this technique was more than enough to kill Ningfan, who had yet to become an immortal. A mid-human profound realm cultivator is hard to defeat, even if she's a woman. Ningfan's expression became even calmer, as if it was not his body that had melted into blood. His calmness made the old woman feel uneasy. All of a sudden, Ningfan lifted his finger and pointed at it. Immediately, an illusory lotus shadow appeared beneath his feet. 12 blossoms, 3 of them lead. The moment the lotus appeared, it suddenly multiplied from 1 to 1 million. In a split second, there were already 1 million lotus shadows protecting Ningfan. Although the blood decay red mist was strong, it could no longer hurt Ningfan. Ancient divine ability, 3 flowers converging prominence. You actually managed to cultivate this technique. Could it be that you have a king-grade divine blood? According to the ancient legends, the 3 flowers converging prominence would be indestructible for 10,000 tribulations. Even though Ningfan had only cultivated the first flower to the realm of blooming 3 petals, It was already enough to defend against an ordinary mid-human profound realm attack. The current power of this blood decay technique was not strong enough to break the Lotus Shadow's defense. As the Lotus light flickered, the blood mist technique was forcefully dispersed. Next, it's my turn to counterattack. Ning Fan suddenly shook his cauldron ring. Light shone beneath his feet and a peacock with purple eyes and black feathers appeared. His whole body was covered in bloody light and he stood on the head of the peacock. That peacock was none other than Zi Li, who had broken through to the early human profound realm. Zi Li's divine ability was shocking. She was almost invincible among those who were at the same level as her. She could even put up a fight against a mid-human profound realm expert. With Zi Li's help, Ning Fan had killed more than 10 early human profound realm experts along the way. What kind of demonic bird is this? Such a strong aura. Such an evil chi. The crimson insect dragon's eyes widened in surprise. At the next moment, Ning Fan was already riding on Nieli and dashing towards it. Nieli opened its mouth and breathed out rays of purplish-black light. When the light dispersed, it turned into wind blades that blotted out the sky and covered the earth, slashing at the crimson insect dragon's gigantic body. The dark red flying insects that were attached to the insect dragon immediately turned purplish-black in color. They were either cut into pieces or killed by the wind blades. After advancing to the second step of the profound realm, Zi Li's divine ability had greatly improved. She could now use the ominous power of the Fu Li clan to poison others. Layers of insect armor were peeled off and rays of purplish-black wind blades shot out from the insect dragon's body. The poison was flowing rapidly inside the insect dragon's body, causing it to panic. Even though the purple-eyed ferocious bird in front of her was only at the early human profound realm, its strength was already comparable to some mid-human profound realm experts. She had already been hit by Ning Fan's plucking finger. Now that the poison had invaded her body, her chi became even more chaotic and her cultivation base showed signs of falling once again. This is bad. If my cultivation base falls again and falls below the mid-human profound realm, I will certainly die here. This young man is a madman. He clearly knows that I'm a member of the Yao clan, but he still dared to attack me. Is he really not afraid of death? If I knew that I would be plotted against by this young man and be forced into such a difficult situation, I definitely wouldn't attack him just for a moment of desire. Forget it. Let's escape from this place first. When I return to the clan, I will bring a group of experts to hunt this young man down. The crimson insect dragon's eyes flashed with determination. Its gigantic body swayed and it actually fled without putting up a fight. If they continue fighting, it would be too disadvantageous for her. Her cultivation base was already about to fall again. Once it falls below the early human profound realm, she would no longer have the strength to fight against Ning Fan and Nieli. Trying to escape. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with killing intent. He mobilized the last portion of his magic power and used it to summon the steel of sun and moon to display his divine ability. The shadow of the steel above his head flashed. Then, it turned into traces of flames and fell into Ning Fan's palm. Ning Fan held the steel fire in his hand. Along the way, he had displayed the second spiritual steel technique many times. Compared to the first time he displayed it, it was much more perfect. At the moment when Ning Fan held the steel fire in his hand, the crimson insect dragon sensed danger. Ning Fan raised his hand and summoned the steel fire. All of a sudden, a gigantic mountain made of flames appeared in the starry sky. At a terrifying speed, it went straight towards the crimson insect dragon. Not good. In an instant, the old woman at the life-immortal realm withdrew from her insect dragon form. She suddenly patted her storage pouch and took out a black talisman. She then placed it on her body. Unfortunately, before the talisman light could be activated, the gigantic mountain had already arrived above her head. Under the impact of the talisman light, the old woman's brain burst out. Her physical body turned into a pile of mud and her primordial spirit was also severely injured. Her primordial spirit rolled up her storage pouch and tried to flee in a panic. However, her movement light suddenly became stagnant and she was frozen in the void. Traces of bloodlines entangled her tightly. With her current weakened state, she actually could not get rid of them within a short period of time. At the next moment, her tiny primordial spirit was sucked into an ice-cold devil palm. It was Ning Fan's devil palm. For the first time, a look of extreme shock appeared in her eyes. As a powerful being in the Eastern Heaven, how could she not recognize this technique? Heaven Sealing Technique. The Eastern Heaven Ancestral Emperor's Heaven Sealing Technique. How did you do it? How did you do it? This is impossible. This is absolutely impossible. No one in the entire Eastern Heaven can learn this technique. Of course, Ning Fan would not answer her questions. After searching his soul and memories mercilessly, Ning Fan swallowed his primordial spirit in one gulp and refined his remnant soul. All of a sudden, the power of his baleful chi skyrocketed to a new realm. Along the way, Ning Fan had killed more than 10 life immortals. However, he had never killed a mid-human profound realm cultivator nor a peak human profound realm cultivator. This old woman was a peak human profound realm cultivator. The mountain of Een fire slowly disappeared. Ning Fan flicked his sleeve and summoned the remains of the old woman at the life immortal realm. He refined it into a ball of flesh essence using his devil flame and fed it to Zeely. Although consuming the flesh essence of a peak human profound realm life immortal would not allow Zeely to break through to the mid-human profound realm in one go, her cultivation base would still improve greatly. Screech, Zeely let out a soft cry obediently, as if she was grateful to Ning Fan for feeding her a decent meal. Ning Fan squatted down and stroked Zeely's black feathers. Then he scanned the old woman's storage pouch with his spirit sense. 3 billion Dao crystals. 3 bottles of 8th Revolution pills. All of them were pills that could increase one's cultivation base and restore one's magic power. There were no pills that could increase one's cultivation base. Ning Fan was not surprised that there were no pills that could increase one's cultivation base. After one's cultivation base reached the second step, there were very few pills that could increase one's cultivation base. Most of the life immortal realm cultivators relied on bitter cultivation, enlightenment, incense and Dao fruits and heavenly ingredients to increase their cultivation base. Even in the pill sect and medicine sect, there were only 1 or 2 types of pill recipes that could help life immortal realm cultivators to increase their cultivation base. The medicinal ingredients needed to concoct these pills were extremely hard to find. Even in the pill sect and medicine sect, there were not many of such pills left. Without looking at those healing pills, Ning Fan's spirit sense finally fell on a black jade slip. He took out the jade slip from his storage pouch and scanned it with his spirit sense. His eyes narrowed slightly and he murmured, 5 stars divine cultivation technique, Gu insect scripture. This scripture was the cultivation technique that the old woman at the life immortal realm cultivated. The offensive abilities recorded in the scripture might not be very strong, but its tracking abilities were quite powerful. Cultivating the scripture could also increase one's poison attack and poison resistance. One could even use poison to mimic insects and poison people. If I have the time, I can learn a little about this scripture. Ning Fan kept the Gu insect scripture and fell into silence. The old woman at the life immortal realm had already died in his hands. Given her identity as a life immortal realm old woman, the Yao clan probably had some means to find out who the murderer was. Since Ning Fan had killed her, the Yao clan probably already knew that he was the murderer. Since Ning Fan had offended the Yao clan in the end, it was unwise for him to stay in the Yao clan star region for a long time. He did not have the intention to provoke the Yao clan in the first place. It was the Yao clan who wanted to take his life and he had no other choice but to resist. With the Yao clan's domineering style, they would never ask about the reason behind this matter. They would only be determined to kill Ning Fan. If Ning Fan had enough strength, he would not hesitate to kill his way to the Yao clan and punish them for their crimes. Unfortunately, his cultivation base was too weak. Of course, he still had a corner of the formation mark of Great Emperor Ancient Chaos. As long as he activates this formation mark, the Yao clan would certainly be annihilated. However, what awaited him next would Yao Qingyun, who was at the void-shedding realm, personally hunt him down. Ning Fan, Let's not go to the slaughter palace. Let's leave quickly. We need to leave the Yao sect star region and go to the medicine sect. Master is there. He will definitely be able to protect you. Ouyang Nuan's worried voice resounded in the Yuan Yao world. Ning Fan secretly clenched his fists. If he leaves the Yao sect star region out of fear of the Yao clan, he might be able to keep his life. However, Ouyang Nuan would certainly die. If it was just to repay a debt of gratitude, Ning Fan would not risk his life to go to the slaughter palace. There were many ways to repay a debt of gratitude. He could use other methods to repay Ouyang Nuan. Today, however, Ouyang Nuan was no longer just a debt of gratitude to him. After 8 years of companionship, some feelings had already been imperceptibly embedded in his heart. He did not want her to die. He wanted her to live for more than 10,000 years and enjoy all the beauty of this world. Let's go to the slaughter palace. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with determination. He swore that he would not turn back on this journey. If the Yao clan tries to stop him, he would slaughter them. If a true immortal intercepts him, even if he takes out the chaotic ancient formation marks and perishes together with them, he would still be severely injured. The longer they stay on this journey, the more dangerous it would be. He had to reach the Blood Sea Star region in the shortest time possible. During the disciple recruitment competition, the Blood Sea Star region forbade anyone from attacking the participating cultivators. Only the participating cultivators were allowed to kill each other. As long as he reaches the Blood Sea Star region, he would be able to avoid the pursuit of Life Immortal Realm and True Immortal Realm cultivators. Ning Fan took out a handful of 8th Revolution pills and swallowed them in one go. Among them were pills that could restore magic power and healing pills. After consuming too many pills in one go, Ning Fan's immortal veins were in extreme pain. The medicinal power of the pills flowed wildly within his body. There was no time for him to restore his magic power. The pursuit of the Yao clan would probably arrive soon. He took out the jade slip of the star door and crushed it. Then, he hammered his chest and spurted out a few mouthfuls of blood essence to forcefully increase the speed of opening the star door. Each time he opened a star door, his face would become much paler. Even the blood recovery pills and the Black Star technique would not be able to replenish the blood essence that he was losing crazily. One after another, the star doors opened at an extremely fast speed. Ning Fan crossed the starry sky again and again, damaging himself every time. Ouyang Nuan quietly watched his actions. Suddenly, she felt a chill on the back of her hand. Only then did she realize that her face was already covered with tears. How could she not feel Ning Fan's determination to save her no matter what? No one could stop him, no one could stop him. Even she was powerless to stop him. All she could do was to silently accept all the good things that Ning Fan did to her. She could only watch as he damaged himself again and again without being able to help him. In the main hall of the Yao clan, Yao Zongxing. The clan lord of the Yao clan, Yao Kong, stared at the groups of cultivators of the Yao clan below the main hall with eyes filled with rage. He clenched his fists tightly and his body was trembling uncontrollably because of his rage. Who can tell me why Elder Ling died? She has a cultivation base of the peak human profound realm. Why would she die? Yao Kong's hair was white and he wore a blood-red robe. His appearance was extraordinary and dignified. It was not that he did not know who the murderer was. It was just that he could not understand how Qianqiu, who was known as the fat sheep of the eastern sky, had the strength to kill Yao Ling, an elder of the Yao clan who had the title of Sun-Sucking Fairy. On the life wall of the Yao clan, a bloody illusory figure slowly appeared. That figure was exactly the same as Ning Fan's appearance when he did not disguise himself. In the current eastern sky, which void fragmentation realm or life immortal realm would not recognize him? Who would not recognize the number 1 fat sheep of the eastern sky? Clan Lord, we saw with our own eyes that Elder Yao Ling was chasing after a void fragmentation realm burly man. However, we don't know why she died in the hands of that Qianqiu. A life immortal realm cultivator who was originally guarding the formation door said with fear and trepidation. Idiot! Don't you understand? the Void Fragmentation Realm Jr. that Yao Ling went to chase after is Qianqiu. I just don't understand how a mere Qianqiu could kill Yao Ling, who was at the peak human profound realm. Why? Yao Kong clenched his fists tightly. He did not feel any pain towards Yao Ling's death. All he felt was anger. What he was angry about was that someone actually dared to challenge the dignity of the Yao clan. Pass down my order. From now on, only people are allowed to enter my Yao clan star region. No one is allowed to leave. If we don't kill that Qianqiu, no cultivator below the life immortal realm is allowed to leave Yao Kong's star region. Immediately mobilize all the experts above the void fragmentation realm in our clan. We must kill that Qianqiu in Yao clan star region. How dare he provoke the tiger's whiskers of our Yao clan? He must die. In addition, send the news to all the nearby star regions. Just tell them that Qianqiu is in our Yao clan star region. Those who want to kill him and claim the reward must come to this star region immediately. We will kill the sheep and claim the reward. Even though Yao Kong was extremely furious, he still retained some of his rationality. Even though he did not understand how Ning Fan could kill a peak human profound realm expert, he was already a little fearful of him. He was just at the early ghost profound realm, which was just one level higher than the peak human profound realm. He would not let the Yao clan take the risk to deal with Ning Fan alone. He wanted countless life immortal realm cultivators and even true immortal realm cultivators to gather in Yao clan star region and attack him together. He wanted to slaughter Ning Fan like a dog. Chapter 723. To cross the Yao Sex star region, he would need to open the Stargate for about 500 to 600 times. In just 2 hours, Ning Fan had already crossed the Stargate 17 times. With the help of the pills, he had recovered 1/3 of his magic power. If it wasn't because forcefully opening the Stargate required a large amount of magic power, Ning Fan's magic power would have been fully restored after consuming so many high-grade pills. In the boundless starry sky, a gigantic Stargate suddenly opened. Ning Fan took a step out of it. Just as he was about to open the Stargate and head to the next location, his eyes suddenly turned grim and he said coldly, "The people of the Yao clan are really fast." At the moment when the Stargate appeared, 7 void fragmentation realm cultivators were already rushing towards this place at full speed. All of them were cultivators of the Yao clan. The main force of the life immortals of the Yao clan had yet to arrive from their clan, but the order to hunt down Ning Fan had already been sent to the entire Yao sect star region. At this moment, Ning Fan had already disguised himself as a middle-aged scholar. However, those void fragmentation realm cultivators of the Yao clan immediately called out Ning Fan's true identity. He is old devil Qianqiu. Kill him. Each of the 7 void fragmentation realm cultivators was holding a blood-red compass in their hands. That compass was a special item of the Yao clan. Anyone who kills a member of the Yao clan would be recognized by the compass no matter what kind of disguise they use. Disguise was no longer meaningful. Does the Yao clan already know my true identity? Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light. He grabbed forward with his large hand and the physical bodies of the 7 void fragmentation realm cultivators immediately disintegrated. 6 of them turned into blood mist and died. Only one of them had his primordial spirit left. Ning Fan took his primordial spirit and searched his soul and memory. After searching his soul, Ning Fan swallowed that person's primordial spirit. His eyes were extremely cold. These 7 void fragmentation realm cultivators were only at the 1st and 2nd void fragmentation realm. They were no match for Ning Fan at all. However, this made Ning Fan's expression become even more solemn. Even cultivators at the 1st and 2nd heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm were sent to hunt him down. It seemed that the Yao clan was determined to kill him. From this person's memory, Ning Fan found out that the Yao clan had already found out his true identity and they had sent all the void fragmentation realm cultivators and above to hunt him down. Moreover, the Yao clan had even sealed off the entire Yao sect star region. Cultivators below the life immortal realm were only allowed to enter but were not allowed to leave. They even sent out messages to the nearby star regions, summoning all experts to hunt him down and collect their rewards. The Yao clan was going to exterminate him. Ning Fan's eyes became even colder, but he did not say anything. He just quietly kept the storage pouches of the 7 people. Then, he took out the jade slip of the star door and damaged his own blood essence to open the next star door. Cross. From the start of the massacre, he would be surrounded and attacked by a group of Yao family cultivators almost every time he crossed. At first, those cultivators were only in pieces, but gradually, there were many itinerant immortal cultivators. Ning Fan did not have the intention to get entangled with these people. As soon as he exits the star door and discovers his enemies, he would surely kill them with lightning speed. He didn't give these cultivators a chance to send messages, but the Yao clan had already seen through his path of killing Yao clan cultivators. That brat Shenxiu wants to leave the Yao sect star zone and go to the Skywater star zone. An early-stage human profound realm life immortal was leading 9 loose immortals. It was an old man in a yellow robe. He held an astrolabe in his hand, and his gaze shifted as he sneered. Judging from the direction this kid is flying in, he'll definitely pass through this area. We'll go there to kill him. The yellow-robed old man held the astrolabe and flew all the way until he reached a certain star zone. Only then did he stop. Standing in the starry sky with his hands clasped behind his back, the yellow-robed old man's face was filled with confidence. He could kill Ning Fan and offer his contribution to the clan leader. Moreover, he could use Ning Fan's head to exchange for 10 billion bounty rewards. He naturally knew that Ning Fan had killed Elder Yao Ling, who was at the peak human profound realm. However, he did not believe that Ning Fan could kill her with his own strength. No void fragmentation realm expert could kill a peak human profound realm expert. This was an indisputable fact. From his point of view, Yao Ling was probably lustful and lost her guard. That was why she was killed by Ning Fan on her bed. Even though that Yao Ling's cultivation base is high, she is too lustful. It's not surprising that she died in the hands of a junior. I have a secret technique. Even a mid-human profound realm expert wouldn't need to be afraid of me. He's just a void fragmentation realm kid. I can kill him like slaughtering a dog. The yellow-robed old man's confidence came from a source. He had a soul pouch on his waist. That soul pouch was specially used to store the primordial spirit of cultivators. His name was Yao Honglei. The word boom in his name had a great background. He had a secret technique called the God-blasting technique. This technique used the primordial spirit of other cultivators as a medium to throw the captured primordial spirit like a bomb. His soul pouch contained more than 1,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits. If he uses all of them, even a mid-human profound realm expert would have to dodge its attack. How could a mere Ning Fan withstand his spirit blast technique? The eyes of the 9 life immortal realm experts behind Yao Honglei were filled with admiration and respect. They were the juniors of the yellow-robed old man. Naturally, they knew how powerful and brutal their old ancestor was. Rumbling sounds suddenly resounded in the starry sky not far away. And a star door was slowly appearing. A trace of void fragmentation realm chi was vaguely coming out from that star door. Yao Honglei sneered and led the 9 rogue immortal juniors to surround the star door. Currently, the news of Ning Fan being hunted down had spread throughout the entire Yao sect star region. The person who still dared to open a star door at this critical moment was either an old monster at the life immortal realm or Ning Fan. Since there was a void fragmentation realm chi coming out from the star door, there was no doubt that it was Ning Fan. Which of the other void fragmentation realm experts would dare to go out during this troubled time? Currently, the entire Yao sect star region was a battlefield to kill Ning Fan. As expected, when the star door opened, a young man in white robes with a cold expression walked out from it. It was none other than Ning Fan, who did not disguise himself. He no longer needed to disguise himself. Since his identity had already been exposed, there was no need for him to hide anymore. All he needed to do was to fight his way out. Get into formation and kill him. Yao Honglei's eyes flashed with killing intent. As soon as he gave the order, the 9 rogue immortals behind him immediately raised the treasured seals in their hands. Each of the 9 treasured seals had different colors. The 9 colored treasured seals soared into the sky and turned into 9 rays of rainbow light, aiming at Ning Fan's head. Humph! Ning Fan snorted coldly. His eyes flashed with ferocious light and the baleful qi around him soared to the sky. After killing Yao Ling, his baleful qi had reached a new peak. As soon as the baleful qi flashed, the 9 rogue immortals felt a sharp pain in their chests. Their bodies were being devoured by the baleful qi and their Dao hearts were being invaded. Their qi became chaotic and none of the 9 treasured seals could land on them. That baleful qi swept towards Yao Honglei. Yao Honglei's expression changed. He quickly flicked his sleeve and took half a step backwards, blocking Ning Fan's baleful qi. However, his heart was in a mess. In the end, he was slightly intimidated by Ning Fan's baleful qi. Ning Fan's baleful qi was too strong. It was definitely not something that could be obtained just by killing Yao Ling. Even if he did not kill Yao Ling, Ning Fan's baleful qi was not something that Yao Honglei could withstand easily. Before killing Elder Yao Ling, this young man had already killed more than 10 life immortal realm cultivators. Yao Honglei was greatly shocked. If Ning Fan killed Yao Ling because she was careless, how would he explain the deaths of the other 10 life immortal realm cultivators? He immediately realized that he must not underestimate Ning Fan. Even though this young man had yet to become an immortal, his abilities were definitely not simple. Form the 10 killing formation. After all, Yao Honglei was an old monster who had experienced killing for a long time. Since he could kill more than 1,000 void fragmentation realm cultivators and seize their primordial spirits, how could he be lacking in killing? He forced himself to calm down and gave a cold order. The 9 rogue immortal juniors beside him immediately endured the pain in their Dao hearts and each of them took out a formation plate from their storage pouches. Each of their formation plates had different colors. Yao Honglei also took out a formation plate. There was a total of 10 colors. Even an ordinary early mortal profound realm cultivator would find it hard to withstand the formation of 10 people. All of a sudden, 10 layers of formation light surrounded Ning Fan. Countless rays of 10-colored rainbow light engulfed Ning Fan. Those rays of 10-colored rainbow light were the ability to kill cultivators with poison. Army disintegration. A cold and stern voice suddenly resounded from within the 10 layers of formation light. At the next moment, a towering blood-red light shot out from the formation light, turning into countless blood-red sword lights which shattered all 10 layers of formation light. Then, Ning Fan, who was surrounded by blood-red light, stepped on the shattered formation light and walked towards Yao Honglei and the others. After killing Yao Ling, Ning Fan's baleful qi skyrocketed. He could control his devil sense more freely. His body had turned into a blood devil, but his eyes were cold and frighteningly clear. They were not corroded by the devil sense at all. He took a step forward and disappeared without a trace. Everyone, including Yao Honglei, felt an extreme sense of danger. 10 rays of blood-red light flashed by so fast that no one could see them clearly. The physical bodies of the 9 rogue immortals had already turned into mists of blood. One of them died. Yao Honglei, on the other hand, was drenched in cold sweat. He gritted his teeth and took out 1,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits from his storage pouch. Then, he threw them towards the incoming rays of blood-red light and formed a hand seal. God blasting! All of a sudden, 1,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits exploded at the same time. The shock waves from the explosion were comparable to the self-detonation of 1,000 void fragmentation realm experts. The layers of self-detonation waves were comparable to the full-force attack of a mid-mortal profound realm expert. I don't believe that I can't blast you to death with this. Yao Honglei suppressed the panic in his heart and laughed heartily towards the sky. However, at the next moment, the smile on his face stiffened and turned into an expression of disbelief. Among the layers of void fragmentation realm self-detonation, millions of lead-colored lotus shadows suddenly rose. Ning Fan's body was covered in blood-red light. He stood among the layers of lotus shadows and remained unscathed despite the self-detonation of 1,000 void fragmentation realm experts. 3 flowers converged crown. You have the king-grade divine blood. You actually managed to cultivate this technique. Yao Honglei's eyes were filled with fear. Even his strongest attack could not break through Ning Fan's defense of the three flowers converged crown. Now that the 1,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits had been used up, he could no longer display an attack of this level. As for the other attacks, they could not hurt Ning Fan at all. He could not hurt Ning Fan, but Ning Fan could easily hurt him. That blood-red sword light was too terrifying. Yao Honglei knew that he could not completely defend himself against it. He was unwilling to admit it, but he had no choice but to admit that he was actually not Ning Fan's match. Damn it. I'll leave first while this kid is busy dealing with the god-blasting technique. I'll wait for reinforcements before killing him. Yao Honglei was terrified. He turned around and ran. The waves of void fragmentation realm self-detonation gradually dissipated. Ning Fan kept the lotus shadows that filled the sky and stared at the direction where Yao Honglei had fled. The corners of his lips curved into a cold smile. In just a short period of time, Yao Honglei had probably fled 7 to 8 billion li away. Unfortunately, he still could not escape. After casually keeping the storage pouches of the 9 rogue immortals, Ning Fan took a step in the void sky. Circles of black flames immediately appeared under his feet like ripples of water. At the next moment, his figure vanished in a flash. He had traveled 10 billion li away and appeared in front of Yao Honglei, who was fleeing in panic. As soon as he caught up to Yao Honglei, Ning Fan disintegrated his body into countless blood-red sword light without saying a word, drowning Yao Honglei within the sea of sword light and blood. Yao Honglei could not believe that a void fragmentation realm expert could actually be so fast. Ning Fan had caught up to him in just a blink of an eye. He wanted to flee, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not escape from the sea of blood sword light that Ning Fan created. After a long time, a miserable shriek resounded in the air. Yao Honglei was finally defeated by the weapon disintegration style. The Black Star technique suppressed his injuries while the ferocious might of his baleful chi suppressed his devil sense. The weapon disintegration style that Ning Fan displayed at this moment was already different from what everyone else in this world had displayed. The people of the world only thought that the weapon disintegration style was a type of ability that allowed one to exchange their life for death. However, Ning Fan had developed this ability into another type of ability. The essence of this technique was still to find a way to live after putting oneself in a hopeless situation. However, Ning Fan would neither die nor be invaded by the devil sense when he used this technique. After dispersing the blood sea sword light, Ning Fan returned to his white-robed body. In his hand was a primordial spirit which had a weak chi. It was none other than Yao Honglei's primordial spirit. Without hesitation, he searched Yao Honglei's soul and memory. After that, he did not destroy Yao Honglei's primordial spirit like what he did in the past. Instead, his eyes flashed and he sealed Yao Honglei's primordial spirit, which had turned into an idiot, and kept it into his soul pouch. That soul bag was naturally seized from Yao Honglei. After tying the soul pouch and the sword pouch together, he took out a blood-red jade slip from Yao Honglei's storage pouch and scanned it with his spirit sense. Then he nodded in satisfaction. God Blast technique? I have already memorized the finger technique of this technique. This technique will be of great use to me. Ning Fan suddenly turned around and looked at the direction where he came from. With this technique, he didn't plan on escaping the Yao sect star field for now. Since the Yao family had already spread his true identity, sooner or later, there would be countless cultivators above the mystic realm who would come here to kill him and get the reward. 10 billion Dao crystals were enough to move the hearts of some true crossing realm old monsters. Even if he managed to escape from the Yao sect star field, there was no guarantee that he wouldn't be intercepted by a perfected immortal on his way to the Blood Sea star field. Since he would be intercepted and killed by the true crossing realm old monsters sooner or later, there was no need for Ning Fan to escape. He was not going to run anymore. Now that he had acquired the Spirit Blast art, he was going to use it to all true immortals. He wanted to capture enough life immortal Yuan Shen as materials for the God Blast art. The primordial spirit of a life immortal was not as powerful as a void fragmentation realm primordial spirit. According to the records of the deity blast technique, if one had 108 life immortal primordial spirits, it would be enough to form the deity blast array and kill a true immortal of the transcending truth realm. If he could capture enough primordial spirits of life immortals, he would have a trump card that even true immortals would be wary of. Along the way to the Blood Sea Star region, he reckoned that no true immortals would dare to attack him. Unfortunately, given his current strength, it would be extremely difficult for him to capture 108 life immortal realm experts alive. Fortunately, Ning Fan still had a corner of the formation mark of Great Emperor Ancient Chaos. It would take a lot of time to set up the formation mark. However, once the formation mark is activated, it could instantly kill all cultivators below the true immortal realm within the formation. The Yao family wants to kill me, and the people of the world also want to kill me for the reward. So, I will give you a chance to kill me. Ning Fan waved his hand and took out the star compass of the Yao sect star region. Then, he changed his direction and flew towards a relatively large abandoned star. He wanted to set up a corner of Great Emperor Ancient Chaos formation mark there to teach the Yao family a painful lesson. Since both parties were already at each other's throats, there was no need for him to show mercy anymore. If a massacre is inevitable, he would just kill to his heart's content in this Yao sect star region. Ning Fan, my cultivation base in the Tao of formations is not bad. Let me help you set up the formation. If you get attacked while you are setting up the formation, you will die. On the abandoned star, when Ning Fan took out a corner of the formation mark and was about to set up the formation, Ouyang Nuan's voice resounded from the Yuan Yao world. When she saw the corner of the formation mark, she could not conceal the surprise on her face at all. She remembered that this formation mark was the finale item of the auction in the Shaozi star. It was said to have been taken away by an ancient immortal venerate. She did not expect that the person who took away the formation mark was actually Ning Fan. She did not ask how Ning Fan actually took away the formation mark. When she saw the corner of the formation mark, the intelligent Ouyang Nuan had already guessed all of Ning Fan's intentions. Using the formation mark of a great emperor to kill countless life immortals, and using the divine blast technique to scare away true immortals. He was going to kill his way into the Blood Sea Star region. Even if he has to fight the Yao family to the death, he would never turn back. Ouyang Nuan knew that she could not shake Ning Fan's determination. He would never give up on her and let her die. She was touched, but she also blamed herself. Therefore, she wanted to help him. Even if it was just to help him set up the formation, it was still better than standing helplessly at the side and watching Ning Fan bear the endless pursuit alone. Can I help you set up the formation? Ouyang Nuan asked carefully. She was afraid that Ning Fan would reject her. All right. Ning Fan summoned Ouyang Nuan from the Yuan Yao world. Now that the situation was dangerous, it was not the time to be pretentious. It was good to have Ouyang Nuan's help. Without Ouyang Nuan's help, Ning Fan would set up the formation on his own and leave Zili to fight the enemies. With Ouyang Nuan's help, Ning Fan could free his hands and fight the enemies together with Zili. Currently, no true immortals had come to the Yao sect star region. It was a blessing in disguise. Ouyang Nuan took the chaotic ancient formation marks and started setting up the formation on the abandoned planet. As for Ning Fan, he set up a concealing immortal formation that could isolate heaven's secrets and spirit sense at the periphery of the abandoned planet to prevent the cultivators of the Yao clan from catching up to this place too quickly. Groups of void fragmentation realm cultivators who were patrolling passed by this place, but they did not notice anything unusual on this planet. They could not see through the mysteries of the concealing immortal formation. They could not see that Ouyang Nuan was setting up the formation on the abandoned planet. They could not see that Ning Fan was staring at them coldly through the formation light. As soon as their expressions change, it meant that they had discovered the abnormality of this planet. Then, Ning Fan would kill them without hesitation. Time passed bit by bit. Half a day later, an early profound human realm blood armor life immortal realm passed by this place. He glanced at the abandoned planet and his brows twitched slightly. However, he cleverly concealed his expression. He could already tell that Ning Fan was most likely hiding on this planet. He had already heard that Yao Honglei had gone missing and all of his subordinates were dead. If he was not mistaken, Yao Honglei had been captured alive by Ning Fan. The blood armor life immortal could not imagine how strong Ning Fan was to be able to capture an early human profound life immortal alive. He no longer dared to underestimate Ning Fan. Even if he found out that Ning Fan was hiding on this star, he would not show any strange expression to avoid being killed by Ning Fan. A cultivator who could capture a life immortal alive was not someone he could match. He wanted to temporarily leave this place and then send a message to the clan to mobilize people to besiege this star. Unfortunately, even though he concealed his expression well, Ning Fan still saw through it. I've still been discovered. If I don't kill this person, my whereabouts will be exposed. If I kill this person, my whereabouts will still be exposed. Since there's no difference, how can I let this person go? Ning Fan rode the gigantic purple-eyed peacock and flew out of the concealment formation light. The moment he appeared, the blood-armored life immortal's expression changed drastically. Without saying a word, he wanted to abandon the void fragmentation realm subordinates behind him and escape by himself. Unfortunately, he could not escape. Chapter 724. Zili, bring this person's primordial spirit back. Under Ning Fan's command, Zili immediately turned into a terrifying demonic wind and chased after the fleeing blood-armored life immortal. The blood armor life immortal's strength was ordinary, he wasn't Zili's opponent. Ning Fan remained outside the abandoned planet. He took a step forward and transformed into his black robes in an instant. Then his body dispersed like ink, turning into countless black butterflies that filled the sky. The blood armor life immortal brought a total of 12 void fragmentation realm experts with him. 4 of them were rogue immortals. Unfortunately, none of them was a life immortal realm expert. None of them could resist Ning Fan's Black Tempest soul-splitting technique. In an instant, all 12 of them were annihilated by the ink butterflies that covered the sky, and only their extremely weak soul cores remained. After all, these people were void fragmentation realm experts. Their primordial spirits were also useful to a certain extent. Ning Fan captured the primordial spirits of the 12 void fragmentation realm experts and kept them inside his soul pouch after sealing them. Naturally, all of their storage pouches were taken away by Ning Fan. Not long after, Zili returned with the half-dead primordial spirit of the blood-armored life immortal and his storage bag in her mouth. After searching the immortal's soul and memories, he sealed his primordial spirit and kept it in his soul pouch. Taking a look at the other party's storage pouch, Zhang Xian was unable to find anything useful in it. Thus, he casually put the storage pouch away. Ning Fan's eyes were extremely solemn. He knew that after capturing this life immortal, the Yao family would certainly know his location. Every cultivator of the Yao clan was patrolling a different star region. Since the blood-armored life immortal went missing in the place he was patrolling, the cultivators of the Yao clan knew that it was Ning Fan's doing. Thus, all of them would rush to that place. Looking back at the abandoned star, Ancient Chaos Heavenly Emperor's formation patterns were already 2/3 complete. Ouyang Nuan's face was slightly pale. Laying down the Ancient Chaos Heavenly Monarch's formation patterns had taken a huge toll on her heart energy. Ning Fan's eyes softened. Was he going to live and die together with this woman whom he had been with for 15 years? It had been 15 years since they had met on the Shaoza planet. As if she felt Ning Fan's gaze, Ouyang Nuan lifted her head and wiped off the sweat on her forehead. Then, she gave Ning Fan a sweet smile. It was still that bright and beautiful smile, so bright and dazzling. She was laughing from the bottom of her heart. Perhaps, after this battle, Ning Fan's devil name would shock the world. Perhaps she would die together with Ning Fan on this abandoned planet. No matter what the result was, she would not regret it. These 10 years were too short for a cultivator, but they were the happiest years of her life. Don't be afraid. After this battle, I will take you to the Blood Sea Star Zone. I think even the true immortals of the Crossing Truth Realm will not dare to stop us. Yes, I'm not afraid. I trust you. At this moment, a large number of life immortals of the Yao family were guarding the array gate leading to the Tianshui galaxy. A total of 31 life immortals were stationed here. The patriarch of the Yao family, Yao Kong, was also guarding this place. Yao Kong could already tell that Ning Fan was in a hurry to get to the Blood Sea Star region. He would certainly go to the Heavenly Water Star region through this door. He was waiting for Ning Fan to walk right into his trap. There were many life immortals in the Yao clan, but most of them were at the early stage of the human profound realm. With the protection of the Slaughter Hall's elder Qing Yun, if a cultivator of the Yao family ascended to immortality, they could head to the Slaughter Hall and be baptized in the blood pool of the Slaughter Hall. Those who had been baptized in the blood pool had a 50% higher chance of becoming an immortal than those who had not been baptized. Do not underestimate this 5% chance. With this 5% chance, there were many cultivators of the Yao family who had become immortals. Unfortunately, the cultivators of the family were too disappointing. None of them could break through to the true immortal realm. It was a waste of Elder Qin Yun's support. Patriarch, Elder Honglei has gone missing. A life immortal hurried to the array gate and conveyed the news to Yao Kong. What? Yao Honglei has gone missing? I'm afraid he didn't go missing. Instead, he was captured by that child, Qianqiu. That useless trash. He's the first person in the history of our Yao family to obtain the recognition of our ancestor and be bestowed with the spirit blasting technique. Since Yao Honglei has gone missing, go to his residence in the family and bring me his spirit blasting technique. If the elders have any objections, just tell them that I'm just temporarily keeping the secret technique for him. When he returns, I'll return it to him. Yao Kong sneered. Not only was he not angry about Yao Honglei's capture, but he was also taking pleasure in his misfortune. Who asked Yao Honglei to be the only person in the history of the Yao family to obtain the recognition of their ancestor. The name of the ancestor of the Yao family was Yao Hongshan. The spirit blasting technique that he created was extremely powerful. However, because it was too ruthless, it was never passed down to his descendants. However, if the descendants of the Yao family were fated with the ancestor, they would have the chance to obtain this technique when they enter the ancestral temple to worship the ancestor statue. For millions of years, no one in the Yao family had obtained this technique. Yao Honglei was the only one who obtained it. Countless cultivators of the Yao family were envious of him. Due to the teachings of the ancestors, none of the cultivators of the Yao family dared to seize Yao Honglei's technique. Since Yao Honglei was captured, Yao Kong was naturally worried that Ning Fan would search his soul and memories to obtain the technique. However, after giving it some thought, he realized that the finger seals obtained from the search were not complete. Even if Ning Fan searched Yao Honglei's memories, he would not be able to obtain the spirit blasting technique. Now that Yao Honglei was captured, the first thing Yao Kong wanted to do was not to rescue him but to seize the opportunity to seize his secret technique. Since Yao Honglei was captured, it was reasonable for him to temporarily keep the secret technique for Yao Honglei as the clan leader. Even the elders of the clan had no reason to criticize him. About that? Reporting to the clan leader, there has been news from the clan saying that the jade slip of the spirit blasting technique is not in Elder Honglei's residence. What? Yao Kong was instantly enraged. In his anger, someone actually went to Yao Honglei's residence one step ahead of him in order to obtain the jade slip of the secret technique. Since the jade slip of the two-raf technique was not in Yao Honglei's residence, where could it be? Could it be that Yao Honglei has lost his mind? Why would he carry such an important jade slip around with him? No, it can't be. Even though that Yao Honglei's innate potential was low and unworthy of cultivation, he was not a fool. Why would he carry such an important secret technique with him? The elders of the clan have interrogated Yao Honglei's concubines. According to them, Elder Honglei always carries the jade slip of the secret technique with him at all times. It's because he's afraid that someone would covet the jade slip when he's not around. Fool. What a fool. How could he carry such an important secret technique jade slip with him at all times? Now that Yao Honglei has been captured by Qianqiu, that means the jade slip has fallen into his hands. All of a sudden, Yao Kong's eyes were filled with killing intent. The jade slip of the secret technique that he had spent so much effort to obtain was actually presented to Ning Fan by Yao Honglei. Very good. Now, he had another reason to kill Ning Fan no matter what. Investigate. Investigate now. I want to know where Chen Qiu is right now. I can't wait any longer. I want to kill this brat now and take back the secret technique jade slip of my ancestor. Yao Kong was infuriated. He immediately sent someone to investigate Ning Fan's whereabouts. Not long after he received the news. Elder Shuesun had gone missing. The 12 void fragmentation realm cultivators who went with him had all gone missing. Elder Shuesun's name was Yao Shuesun. He was the blood armor life immortal realm cultivator whom Ning Fan had captured previously. Another missing person? Not dead yet? Alright, I got it. Yao Kong clenched his fists so hard that his knuckles cracked. Ning Fan had captured the cultivators of the Yao clan, but he did not kill them. Most likely, he had kept their primordial spirits and was planning to use the spirit blasting technique. The spirit blasting technique required the primordial spirit of a cultivator to be used as a medium. The power of this technique depended on the number of primordial spirits of the cultivators who were the medium. Ning Fan wanted to collect the primordial spirits of the cultivators in Yao Sect Star region and use the spirit blasting technique? Good. Very good. Pass down my order. Close all the formation doors and strengthen the formation light. No one is allowed to enter or leave for now. In Yao Sect Star region, all the experts above the void fragmentation realm of the Yao clan are to rush to the star regions near the heavenly star, including the cultivators who are guarding the formation doors. No mistakes are allowed. Kill Chen Qiu without mercy if you see him. The heavenly star was a low-grade cultivation star. It was very close to the abandoned star where Ning Fan was. Yao Shuesun had gone missing there. Ning Fan might still be near the heavenly star or he might not be there anymore. No matter what, as long as he completely seals off the entire star region and orders all the experts of the Yao clan to surround the heavenly star, Yao Kong believed that he would certainly be able to gradually tighten the encirclement and find out where Ning Fan was. Once the formation doors are closed and the formation light is strengthened, the life immortals and true immortals who rush to Yao Sect Star region from other star regions would not be able to enter. Originally, Yao Kong wanted to kill Ning Fan with a borrowed knife. That was why he revealed Ning Fan's true identity to attract other experts to come and kill him. However, the situation today was different. Ning Fan possessed the secret technique of the Yao clan's progenitor. Yao Kong did not want to let outsiders obtain this secret technique. He wanted to keep it for himself. Therefore, he would not allow outsiders to participate in this operation to kill Ning Fan. He would only let the experts of the Yao clan participate. There were a total of 117 life immortals in the Yao clan that could be mobilized. As for those who were above the early human profound realm, there were 16 of them. Yao Kong believed that Ning Fan's death would be certain this time when the Yao clan sent out all of their forces. He was just a void fragmentation realm cultivator. Even if he was slightly heaven-defying and could kill 1 or 2 early human profound realm life immortals, how could he possibly fight against more than 100 immortals by himself? The news of the Yao clan turning out in full force to hunt down Ning Fan shook the entire Yao Sect Star region and all the star regions nearby it. Those life immortals who were trapped outside of Yao Sect Galaxy thumped their chests and sighed. They had traveled tens of thousands of miles to the Yao Sect Star Field, but they couldn't enter. The Eastern Sky's biggest fat sheep was in the Yao Sect Star Field. The Yao family had come out in full force, wanting to swallow this fat sheep for themselves. Killing a void fragmentation realm expert could earn a reward of 10 billion. It was such a good business. However, it seemed like the Yao clan was going to monopolize it. A few old monsters of the True Crossing realm were also trapped outside the Yao Sect Star Field. They looked at the reinforced domain locking formation with discontent. If the array light hadn't been reinforced, they wouldn't have used the array door and could have directly passed through the array light to enter the star domain. Now that the array light was strengthened, they couldn't enter even if they wanted to. I wanted to kill a junior to earn some money, but it seems I won't be able to. What a tyrannical Yao clan. You eat the meat, but you don't allow others to drink the soup. A true immortal of the Crossing Truth realm sneered, He was obviously very dissatisfied with the Yao clan. Unfortunately, he only dared to express his dissatisfaction verbally at most. He did not dare to attack the Yao clan. After all, the Yao clan had Elder Qing Yun standing behind them. Within the Yao sect star field, there were still more than 20 life immortals from other star fields who were scattered all over the place. When these people heard that the Yao clan had locked the entire star field, all of them felt very lucky. They were the lucky ones. They had come to the Yao sect star field in advance. They had the chance to kill Ning Fan and obtain the reward of 10 billion. As for those experts who could not enter the Yao sect star field, they could only look at the fat sheep through the domain locking grand formation. However, they could not even get half a mouthful of the soup. These people quietly moved out and followed behind the cultivators of the Yao clan. Once they find the fat sheep, they would attack. Many Void Fragmentation Realm rogue cultivators, bandits and bounty hunters who had extraordinary abilities also quietly rushed towards the direction of the profound heavenly star. Ning Fan sat on the giant body of Nieli without moving an inch, as if he was meditating. However, whenever cultivators approached him, he would attack them mercilessly, killing them and seizing their spirits. Gradually, Ouyang Nuan had already finished setting up the grand formation. She was then temporarily sent back to the Yuan Yao world. Gradually, Ning Fan killed wave after wave of Void Fragmentation Realm cultivators. Finally, countless life immortal realm escaping lights arrived. He just stood outside the abandoned star, quietly watching the countless old monsters who were rushing to this place. It was unknown how many Void Fragmentation Realm experts had come. There were at least 70 to 80,000 of them. There were also more than 140 life immortal realm experts. There were 7 to 8 profound ghost realm life immortals. There was only one profound ghost realm expert in the Yao clan. There were many profound ghost realm experts who came from other star fields. So many of them came just to kill Ning Fan. The corner of Ning Fan's mouth curved into a cold smile. The Yao clan really thinks highly of him. Even though he was being stared at by 70 to 80,000 Void Fragmentation Realm experts and more than 140 Immortal Realm experts, he did not show any trace of panic on his face. He had the chaotic ancient formation marks here. Once the Emperor formation is activated, the life and death of the enemies who come to this place will all be in his hands. Oh, you sure are calm. Do you know who I am? Yao Kong took a step forward. His blood-red robes fluttered even though there was no wind. His white hair fluttered in the air. His aura was imposing. I suppose you must be the clan leader of the Yao clan, Yao Kong. Ning Fan said indifferently. That's right. I am the clan leader of the Yao clan, Yao Kong. I have come here today just to kill you. Junior, hand over the jade slip of my Yao clan's secret technique and I can let you die a quick death. What jade slip? Ning Fan was slightly stunned. Then he seemed to have understood something. No wonder this Yao Kong suddenly locked down the Yao clan's star field and went all out. It turned out that he had accidentally obtained the secret technique jade slip of the Yao clan. I wonder what kind of jade slip it is that could make Yao Kong pay so much attention to it. He had killed quite a number of cultivators of the Yao clan and he had also obtained some powerful abilities. After thinking for a while, a thought flashed across Ning Fan's mind. Could it be that the secret technique jade slip that Yao Kong mentioned is the spirit blast technique? Junior, don't play dumb. Hand over the secret technique jade slip that you obtained from Yao Honglei. Yao Kong's expression turned slightly cold. As expected, Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and took out the jade slip that recorded the spirit blast technique. It was exactly this spirit blast technique that gave Ning Fan hope to fight against a true immortal realm expert and changed his entire plan. Ning Fan thought about it and agreed with him. How could a technique that could even move his heart be ordinary? It turns out that this technique has quite a long history. Even the clan leader of the Yao clan values it highly. If that's the case, I'll just destroy this technique. After all, he had already memorized the finger seals of this technique. If he keeps this technique with him, he will only be coveted by others. Without the jade slip, even if others have taken a fancy to Ning Fan's spirit blast technique, they would not be able to snatch it from him forcefully. They would also not be able to search his soul and memories. They could only use a soft approach to obtain this technique. Bang! Ning Fan crushed the jade slip of the secret technique. Yao Kong, whose eyes were filled with excitement when Ning Fan took out the jade slip, turned extremely cold in an instant. "You're courting death. How hateful! How hateful!" Ning Fan actually destroyed the jade slip of the secret technique. If that's the case, wouldn't he have to ask Ning Fan to teach him the technique that he wants to learn? He would not be able to obtain the complete secret technique by searching his soul. However, it was absolutely impossible for Yao Kong to ask for an enemy's help. "Do you think that I will spare your life if you destroy this technique? You're wrong. I have plenty of ways to interrogate you and force you to spit out the complete technique. After that, you won't be able to escape death. Pass my order. Capture this young man and leave only his primordial spirit. I want to bring him back to my clan and interrogate him." As soon as Yao Kong gave his order, 70,000 Void Fragmentation Realm experts and 116 Life Immortal Realm experts of the Yao clan turned into rays of light and rushed towards Ning Fan. Their momentum was too great. Even Ning Fan found it a little hard to bear. Those Void Fragmentation Realm experts and Life Immortal Realm experts who were not from the Yao clan frowned. What should we do now? It seemed like Ning Fan had seized the secret technique of the Yao clan, and the clan leader wanted to capture him alive to preserve his primordial spirit. In this way, those who wanted to kill Ning Fan and ask for a reward would probably return in disappointment. If they really kill Ning Fan, they would probably have to bear the wrath of the Yao clan immediately. It's not worth becoming enemies with the Yao clan for 10 billion Dao crystals. Let's wait and see. Don't make a move. Let's see how the Yao clan deals with this junior. One of the Ghost Profound Life Immortal Realm experts sighed and instructed his disciples beside him. 10 billion Dao crystals. It's really a pity to miss this opportunity. However, I wonder what kind of secret technique that Junior destroyed just now. It actually made the Yao clan attach so much importance to it. Could it be the strongest secret technique of the Yao clan, the Spirit Blast technique? A peak human profound life immortal realm expert muttered to himself. There's no need to watch anymore. This young man will definitely be captured by the Yao clan. It's pointless for us to stay here any longer. It's better for us to leave. Another life immortal realm expert had the intention to leave. Ning Fan stood in the whistling void wind and looked at the countless experts of the Yao clan who were coming towards him. His eyes flashed with killing intent. Since I can't avoid this tribulation, I'll kill to my heart's content in this tribulation. Gee! At this moment, Ning Fan uttered a word and his finger seals changed abruptly. At this moment, the formation light that was covering the abandoned star behind Ning Fan suddenly dispersed, revealing the abandoned star which had a thin amount of spiritual qi. At this moment, the empty abandoned star suddenly lit up with rays of alternating black and white formation light. In an instant, that formation light engulfed the entire Yao sect star region. The attack range of this formation light was actually the entire Yao sect star region. Even Ning Fan did not expect this. No one knew that this corner of the formation pattern was actually this powerful. No one had tried it before, so no one knew about it. Within that formation light, there was a trace of extremely powerful, ancient and vicissitude qi. That trace of qi seemed to be able to suppress the ancient times, making everyone in this place breathless. Their expressions changed greatly and their bodies trembled. Ning Fan was the only one who felt that trace of qi was very warm and comfortable. That was the trace of qi of Great Emperor Ancient Chaos, and Ning Fan was the successor of Ancient Chaos. Countless terrified voices resounded across the starry sky. Emperor formation. Which great emperor actually laid down this grand formation? Just a corner of the formation pattern actually has such terrifying power. Just a corner of the formation pattern is enough to kill all the cultivators below the true immortal realm in this star region. If this formation is complete, will it even be able to kill an immortal emperor? This formation is just too terrifying. Impossible. How can a mere void fragmentation realm ant possess such a terrifying formation pattern? Damn it. Damn it. This brat has already laid down a grand formation here and is waiting for us to take the bait. He wants to slaughter all the cultivators in our Yao sect star region. Ning Fan's expression was extremely cold. At this moment, he saw the backs of countless life immortal realm and void fragmentation realm cultivators who were desperately trying to escape. The situation seemed to have turned around in an instant. Ning Fan did not expect that a corner of the formation pattern of Great Emperor Ancient Chaos would actually be this powerful. Just a single corner of the formation pattern could cover an entire mid-grade star region. If he wants to, he could slaughter all the cultivators in the entire Yao sect star region with just a single thought. However, he would not kill everyone in this star region. He would choose to kill selectively. He would only kill the members of the Yao clan and those bandits, devil lords, and bounty hunters who came to pursue him. At this moment, Nieli respectfully retreated to one side while Ning Fan leaped onto the abandoned star. His feet stepped on the ancient chaos formation pattern as if he had become one with the entire Yao sect star region. A trace of Great Emperor Ancient Chaos Chi entered Ning Fan's body. At this moment, Ning Fan had an illusion that he seemed to have become Great Emperor Ancient Chaos. I, Ancient Chaos, am going to bury the Yao clan of the Eastern Heaven in the galaxy forever. Those who help the Yao clan will face the same punishment. Chapter 725. I, Ancient Chaos, am going to bury the Eastern Heaven's Yao clan in the galaxy today. Those who help the Yao clan will be punished as well. His voice resonated with the formation. It carried an unimaginable aura force and spread far and wide. All the cultivators whose cultivation base had reached the rogue immortal realm looked at the starry sky in disbelief. The cultivators below the rogue immortal realm had yet to notice the huge change in Yao sect star region. To their horror, they realized that the entire Yao sect star region had been sealed by a peerless ferocious formation. When facing the peerlessly ferocious formation, everyone had the misconception that they'd become meat on the chopping block, and they could only allow themselves to be slaughtered by the expert that controlled the grand formation. Their lives were beyond their control, and their deaths were beyond their control. Some erudite and knowledgeable people, upon hearing the two words Ancient Chaos, suddenly turned pale with fright. They had read about the name of Ancient Chaos Great Emperor in some ancient books. That was a peerless ferocious emperor who used the chaotic ring's art to sweep across the ancient immortal domain. He created the yin-yang transformation and cultivated two cultivation techniques at the same time. He was a great emperor who had passed away a long time ago. There were 1 billion immortal emperors in his era. His strength was enough to be ranked in the top 10 or even higher among the 1 billion immortal emperors. He was an ancient great emperor. His strength was incomparable to the immortal emperors of the future. I see. This corner of the formation pattern was actually set up by the ancient chaos land. No wonder it was so terrifying. Even though Ning Fan called himself Ancient Chaos, no one would really think that he was Ancient Chaos. The reason why Ning Fan said that was probably because he had temporarily merged with the chi of the Ancient Chaos in the formation pattern. The formation pattern of Ancient Chaos Great Emperor. The formation pattern of that peerless, ferocious emperor. Yao Kong gritted his teeth. He did not run away. He looked at Ning Fan in disbelief. Looking at the peerless, ferocious formation, his body began to tremble uncontrollably. Who would have thought that a void fragmentation realm cultivator would actually possess such terrifying formation patterns? A corner of the formation pattern was enough to destroy the entire Yao sect star region. Qianxiu, what are you trying to do? Do you want to slaughter the entire Yao sect star region? Do you want to destroy my entire Yao clan? Do you want to anger Elder Qin Yun? You are courting death. I advise you to remove the formation light as soon as possible. Otherwise, near the abandoned star, Yao Kong was the only one who was still trying to stay calm and threaten Ning Fan. The rest of the people, regardless of whether they were void fragmentation realm experts or life immortal realm experts, were frantically running away from this place. Ning Fan's eyes were cold and emotionless as he looked at Yao Kong. It was just a gaze, but it made Yao Kong feel as if he was looking at the heavens. Destroy! A cold word came out from Ning Fan's mouth. In the next instant, a huge palm that was half white and half white suddenly appeared in the void. The giant palm was formed from the power of the formation. That giant palm was bigger than an entire low-ranked cultivation planet. The giant palm slammed down on Yao Kong's head. Yao Kong didn't even have the chance to resist. A dignified, mysterious life immortal was directly smashed into meat paste by the giant palm. The power of this huge palm was enough to severely injure a true immortal at the early stage of the Crossing Truth realm. How could a mere Yao Kong resist the power of one palm? His corpse and storage pouch were taken away by Ning Fan. His primordial spirit was sealed by Ning Fan and kept into his soul pouch. The third one. Ning Fan muttered to himself coldly. Yao Honglei's primordial spirit was the first life immortal realm primordial spirit that Ning Fan captured alive. Yao Xuesen's primordial spirit was the second. Yao Kong's primordial spirit was the third. This was just the beginning. Yao Kong's death could not be hidden from those old monsters who were fleeing in a hurry. A dignified, mysterious life immortal had his physical body destroyed by Ning Fan and his primordial spirit captured by Ning Fan without any resistance. This scene deeply shocked the hearts of all the old monsters present. This formation was indeed terrifying and undefeatable. As for Ning Fan, who was currently controlling the Grand Formation, only true immortals could defeat him. Detestable! Why did my Yao clan provoke such a fiend? However, this brat is really arrogant. Doesn't he know who is supporting my Yao clan? If I don't die today, I will definitely ask Elder Qin Yun to help me and tear that little brat into pieces. A late human profound realm life immortal of the Yao clan cursed while fleeing. His name was Yao Qian. Even though he was cursing, the panic in his eyes could not be hidden from the others. He was afraid. Even if he managed to escape, he would not dare to ask Elder Qin Yun to help him and take revenge on Ning Fan. Would Elder Qin Yun really stand up for the Yao clan? He had no idea. There was a rumor in the clan that Elder Qin Yun had joined the Slaughter Palace after he was expelled from the clan when he was young. The reason why he took care of the Yao clan for the past few years was just because he cared about his kinship. His heartbeat was already in a mess. When a gigantic black and white palm appeared in front of him out of nowhere, he was almost paralyzed in the starry sky. At the next moment, that black and white palm mercilessly slammed down on him. Yao Qian's despairing expression was forever frozen. The gigantic palm easily smashed him into a pile of flesh. With a flash of formation light, his corpse, storage pouch and primordial spirit were all taken away by Ning Fan. The fourth one. Ning Fan's cold voice resounded across the starry sky with the help of the formation light, causing countless cultivators who were fleeing to tremble in fear. Yao Bing was a seventh heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivator. He was one of the 70,000 void fragmentation realm cultivators of the Yao clan. Before coming to the profound heavenly star, he had never thought that the 70,000 void fragmentation realm cultivators and 100 life immortals of the Yao clan would be scared away by Ning Fan alone. After witnessing the miserable fate of his clan lord with his own eyes, Yao Bing's entire body was trembling. If the heavens give him a chance to choose again, he would certainly not choose to be born in the Yao clan. He would never be willing to become Ning Fan's enemy. He had the ambition to become an immortal. He did not want to die. He did not want to die here. He wanted to run, but he did not know where he could run to. The entire Yao sect star region was within Ning Fan's attack range. Could he escape? Rumble. A gigantic palm that blotted out the sky suddenly appeared above Yao Bing. It ruthlessly slammed down on him. Yao Bing only felt a tremendous force hitting his body. At the next moment, his vision turned black and he lost all consciousness. He naturally did not know that he had been smashed into a pile of flesh by the formation light and his primordial spirit had been taken away by Ning Fan to be used as a medium for the spirit blast technique. There were 80,000 void fragmentation realm cultivators who suffered the same fate as Yao Bing. 70,000 of them were from the Yao clan while the remaining 10,000 were here to kill Ning Fan for the reward. With just a single palm strike, The gigantic formation light destroyed 80,000 void fragmentation realm cultivators. If it wasn't because Ning Fan wanted to keep their primordial spirits to use the technique, their souls would certainly be destroyed by the gigantic palm. Rays of formation light flashed. Piles of corpse paste, storage pouch and primordial spirits were taken away by Ning Fan. 80,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits were obtained. A single palm strike killed 80,000 void fragmentation realm cultivators. All the life immortals were frightened by this horrifying scene. Luo Hai trembled. It was too late for regrets. He was an old monster of the ghost mystic realm. He could have dominated a region and become a respected ancestor, but he had come to the Yao sect star field to get involved in this mess. They shouldn't have come. He had originally come for the number 1 fat sheep in Eastern Sky. He had originally come for the 10 billion Dao crystals. Initially, he thought that killing Ning Fan was as easy as flipping his palm. However, things turned out contrary to one's wishes. How could that Ning Fan be the number 1 fat sheep in Eastern Sky? He was a wolf that had gone mad and wanted to kill people. 7 fiendish old demon. What intentions do you have to actually set up a reward of 10 billion for this person? You've really done me a lot of harm. You've done a lot of harm. Luo Hai gritted his teeth and vented all his anger on 7 Fiend Sect. If it wasn't for the 7 Fiend Sect's bewitching reward, why would he come to kill Ning Fan? Why would he encounter such a desperate situation? If he could escape from Yao sect star field alive, Luo Hai only wanted to do one thing. He slaughtered 7 Fiend Sect to vent his anger. Unfortunately, he was destined to not have the chance to vent his anger. The gigantic black and white palm covered the entire sky and slammed down from the void. Luo Hai did not have time to react at all and was directly smashed into meat paste. Su Dao was a life immortal realm expert of the Eastern Heaven and Earth primordial sect. He was an expert in escaping techniques of the 5 elements, especially the earth element escaping technique. Every time he took out a handful of soil from his storage pouch and sprinkled it into the starry sky, he would be able to use the soil to escape billions of li away. He flew at full speed. He deeply believed that as long as he continues to flee with all his might, he would be able to get out of Yao sect star field and escape the attack range of the Grand Formation. Unfortunately, when a gigantic black and white palm descended from the sky, all of his confidence turned into despair. The 5th, the 6th, the 7th, more and more life immortals were killed in the starry sky. Gradually, there were already 74 primordial spirits of life immortals in Ning Fan's soul pouch. There were still 72 life immortals who had yet to be killed by the formation light. They were in despair. No matter how far they ran, as long as they did not leave Yao sect star field, they would be killed by the palm of the formation light. Finally, they stopped running. They had gone mad. They turned around and rushed towards Ning Fan's direction. If they had to die, then they would perish together with Ning Fan. Perhaps, after killing Ning Fan, the Grand Formation would lose control and stop on its own. Perhaps, there was no one who could stop the Grand Formation from operating anymore. Gradually, there was only one thought left in their minds. Kill Ning Fan. Since there was no other way out, they might as well risk their lives for the last time. Instead of dying on the way to escape, they might as well die on the way to counterattack. At least they have some backbone. Unfortunately, it's useless. Ning Fan's eyes were cold and emotionless. His 10 fingers moved rapidly and 72 gigantic palm shadows suddenly appeared in the starry sky, slamming down on the heavenly spirits of the life immortals. A series of rumbling noises came one after another. Each rumble indicated that a life immortal had turned into a pile of meat. Boom, boom, boom. Despair, resentment, anger, fear, pleading, all sorts of expressions appeared on the faces of these life immortals. In the end, their expressions were fixed forever. Ning Fan's eyes remained unmoved. Since these people wanted to kill him, there was no need for him to be merciful to them. With the help of the formation light, Ning Fan mercilessly reaped the lives of the life immortal realm experts one after another. In less than the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, all of the 146 Life Immortal Realm experts and 80,000 Void Fragmentation Realm experts were killed in Ning Fan's hands. Their primordial spirits were captured. The Life Immortals of the Yao family were all dead, and so were all the Life Immortals who came to invade the Yao family. However, this was not the end. Ning Fan had said that he wanted the entire Yao clan to be buried in the galaxy forever. Even though the main force of the Yao clan had died, their foundation was still there. To cut the weeds, one must remove the roots. The formation had been activated and could not be stopped. Now that Ning Fan had become one with the formation, his spirit sense could extend to the entire Yao sect star region. If he wants to, he could fly to any place in the Yao sect star region with a single step. After keeping Nieli back into his cauldron ring, Ning Fan transmitted his voice to her. You can refine the flesh and blood essence on your own. Eat slowly and don't choke. The corpses of the experts that had fallen in this battle all belonged to Nieli. With a sway of his body, Ning Fan directly vanished from the abandoned planet, disappearing without a trace. Azure River Star, Yao Sky Sect. The sect master was a great void stage old monster from the Yao clan. The cultivators of this sect were all from the Yao clan. At this moment, Sect Master Yao Tian was reprimanding the Star Lord of the Azure River Star region. Sect Master Yao Tian only had an absolute void stage cultivation base, while the Azure River Star Lord was at the 7th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. However, Sect Master Yao Tian still dared to reprimand the Star Lord in front of everyone. It was because he was a member of the Yao clan. A mere void fragmentation realm Star Lord would not dare to offend the Yao clan at all. The Yao clan's overbearing manner was well known in the Eastern Heaven. It's your honor that I have taken a liking to your daughter. I will only give you 3 days to wash your daughter clean and send her to my room. If you dare to disobey my order, I guarantee you that you will die a horrible death. Sect Master Yao Tian looked at the Azure River Star Lord, who was half kneeling on the ground with disdain. The Azure River Star Lord's face turned pale. He clenched his teeth so hard that they were about to break. His daughter had just become Dao companions with someone, but she had already caught the eye of Sect Master Yao Tian, and he wanted to keep her as his human cauldron. In the cultivation world, he knew that he was not a kind person. However, he could not bring himself to destroy his daughter's happiness and send her to be ravaged by Sect Master Yao Tian. As a dignified Star Lord, he actually had to be reprimanded by a junior, and he could not even protect his own daughter. He was unwilling, resentful, helpless, and guilty. Ultimately, he did not dare to offend the Yao clan. There is still room for negotiation. As long as Sect Master is willing to let my daughter go, I am willing to give up all my wealth and give it to Sect Master. Azure River Star Lord said with humiliation. There is absolutely no room for negotiation. You can scram now. If I don't see your daughter 3 days later, I will send a message to the clan and gather experts to annihilate your entire clan. Sect Master Yao Tian snorted impatiently and ordered the cultivators beside him to chase the Azure River Star Lord away. A few Gold Core Realm cultivators looked at the Azure River Star Lord mockingly and dragged him out of Yao Tian's sect like a dog. As the saying went, the gate of the Prime Minister was a 7th grade official. Even a dog of the Yao clan would have a higher status than the Azure River Star Lord. You've gone too far. The Azure River Star Lord stumbled out of Yao Tian's sect. He was so furious that he spat out a mouthful of blood. He closed his eyes in despair and struggled internally. He did not know if he should sacrifice his daughter in exchange for the survival of his entire clan. Suddenly, the Azure River Star Lord opened his eyes in disbelief. He realized that the entire Azure River Star had been locked down by an extremely powerful aura. A white-robed young man suddenly appeared in the sky above Yao Tian's sect while stepping on a ring of black and white Dao patterns. Yao Kong is dead. The life immortal of the Yao clan has been annihilated. The Yao Tian sect shall also be annihilated. This voice echoed throughout the entire Azure River Star. The white-robed young man suddenly raised his palm and pressed it down. In the next instant, a black and white palm print that was only 10,000 feet long descended from the sky. With just one palm, the entire Yao Tian sect was reduced to ashes. None of the cultivators of the sect survived. Sect Master Yao Tian was still dreaming of bullying a girl. Before he could react, he died under the palm print. This person is old demon Chen Qiu. Isn't he being hunted by the Yao clan? Why is he here? He said that Yao Kong is dead and the Yao clan's fate immortals were all killed. Could it be that he single-handedly slaughtered all the Yao clan's fate immortals? The Green River Star Lord stared at Ning Fan with a trembling body. At this moment, Ning Fan had merged into one with the chaotic ancient emperor formation. He only needed to release a trace of his chi and it would be enough to suppress the Green River Star Lord to death. He definitely has the strength to slaughter the Yao family. He had really killed all the life immortals of the Yao family. The reason he came here to destroy the Yao Sky sect is to eliminate the Yao family by the roots. The Yao family is gone. The Yao family was actually destroyed. Haha. Good, really good. The Green River Star Lord threw his head back and laughed heartily. All of a sudden, he knelt on the ground and bowed to Ning Fan. Ning Fan, however, did not even look at the Azure River Star Lord. His body flashed and he headed to the next location. Flame Dragon Star, a branch of the Yao family. Earthsea Star, a branch of the Yao family. Ghost Orchid Star, a branch of the Yao family. Ning Fan moved like a ghost. Borrowing the power of the formation, he shuttled across the entire Yao sect star region. One by one, the Yao family's side forces were destroyed. Ning Fan killed countless cultivators. Finally, he arrived at Yao Zongxing. This was the last cultivation planet in the Yao sect star region that still had cultivators of the Yao family. This was the main star of the Yao sect star region. This was where the ancestral clan of the Yao family was located. All of the cultivators above the void fragmentation realm of the Yao family had come out. The ones who stayed behind to guard the ancestral clan were just some void refinement realm cultivators. However, the Yao family's accumulation of millions of years was no small matter. Ning Fan stood outside of Yao Zongxing. His terrifying killing intent locked onto the entire star region. Countless void refinement realm cultivators of the Yao family flew into the starry sky in panic and looked at Ning Fan with fear. The 7 elders of the Yao family stood in front of the remaining forces of the Yao family. These 7 elders were not the strongest cultivators of the Yao family. They were the representatives of the 7 branches of the ancestral clan. When an elder dies, the next elder will be selected to be in charge of the clan's punishments and rewards. The news of Ning Fan slaughtering all the life immortals of the Yao family and destroying countless forces of the Yao family had already reached Yao Zongxing. The 7 elders looked at Ning Fan. They were obviously terrified, but they still gritted their teeth and pretended to be high and mighty. Old Ancestor Chen Qiu, you've killed countless experts of our Yao family. Elder Qin Yun will never let you go. If you stop now and cripple your own cultivation base, we can plead on your behalf and spare your life. Are you done? Ning Fan asked coldly. I haven't finished. When they met Ning Fan's cold eyes, the 7 elders trembled in fear. I don't want to listen to you guys anymore. All of you can die now. At this moment, Ning Fan raised his palm. Under the horrified gazes of countless cultivators of the Yao family, he slammed his palm down. A black and white palm imprint that was as large as a low-grade cultivation planet landed on Yao Zongxing with a loud bang. Yao Zongxing, a dignified mid-grade cultivation planet, was directly split into 2 halves by Ning Fan's palm. The powerful force of the palm spread out and the cultivators of the Yao family exploded one after another. The 7 elders and the other void refinement realm cultivators also exploded and died. Before they died, their expressions were still filled with fear. From today onwards, within Eastern Sky, there will no longer be a Yao family. Ning Fan's body flashed and he returned to Yao Zongxing's body. His hand was still in midair, showing the foundation of the Yao clan. The power of the formation was disappearing bit by bit. Even though the great ancient chaos formation was powerful, it was still only a corner of the formation patterns and could not be preserved for long. Fortunately, with the help of the chaotic ancient formation marks, Ning Fan had already obtained enough Void Fragmentation Realm and Life Immortal Realm primordial spirits. However, if he wanted to execute the God Bombardment art, he would have to kill and process these primordial spirits one by one and refine them into secret primordial spirits. Without the secret primordial spirit, one wouldn't be able to use the Soul Blast art even if they knew the finger technique. In this battle, Ning Fan had seized countless storage pouches. In addition to the looting of the Yao clan's lair, the spoils of war that he had seized were quite abundant. Dao Crystal, 170 billion. A total of 207 million-year-old spirit herbs. There were countless types of 8th Revolution pills and many 9th Revolution pills. Life-saving immortal talismans, jade pendants, human profound, ghost profound attacks, and even a few true immortal jade slips. Inside the Yao family's ancestral temple, the Yao family's ancestor statue was still enshrined, and it had accumulated thousands of years of incense. Unfortunately, these incense belonged to the old ancestor of the Yao family. He was already dead. Other than him, no one could take away the incense. Today, these incense belonged to Ning Fan because he had an incense flame puppet. Ning Fan took out his golden puppet. The amount of incense power in the puppet was pitifully little. The sea of stars worshipped his incense. The rain world also gradually began to worship his incense. The cauldron still had the seed of incense inside it. However, the total amount of incense they had was not even 1/1000th of what the old ancestor of the Yao family had. The power of incense was the power of faith. It was a special power that was produced through the worship of the disciples. It could only be used by the person being worshipped. Outsiders could not seize the incense. The amount of incense was related to the number of disciples and also the time of worship. Ning Fan had too few incense followers while the old ancestor of the Yao family had the incense followers of all the cultivators in the entire mid-grade star region. Ning Fan had only been worshipped for a short period of time while the old ancestor of the Yao family had been worshipped for millions of years. Therefore, the amount of incense that Ning Fan collected was far less than the amount of incense that the old ancestor of the Yao family had. The power of incense was an important method for Life Immortal Realm cultivators to improve their cultivation base. If Ning Fan breaks through to the Life Immortal Realm, his cultivation base would certainly improve tremendously with the large amount of incense in his hands. After injecting the power of incense into his golden statue, Ning Fan temporarily stayed on Yao Zongxing and began to refine the countless primordial spirits that he had captured in this battle using a secret technique. As long as he refined the primordial spirits of these Void Fragmentation Realm and Life Immortal Realm cultivators, he would be able to use the Spirit Explosion technique. With so many primordial spirits in his hands, even mid and late True Crossing Realm True Immortals would have to be wary of him. Along the way, Ning Fan no longer needed to worry about True Crossing Realm True Immortals coming to kill him to claim their reward. However, if he overthrows the Yao family, there would probably be new troubles coming his way, for example, Yao Qingyun. Another example would be old monsters who were stronger than the True Crossing Realm who would be eyeing Ning Fan's storage pouch. Currently, Ning Fan had quite a number of Dao crystals with him. The matter of robbing the Yao family could no longer be concealed. Chapter 726. The Yao sect Starfield's domain sealing grand array gradually disappeared with the destruction of the Yao family. 10 days later, the formation completely disappeared. The Life Immortals and Perfected Immortals who were waiting outside the Yao sect star field immediately swarmed into the Yao sect star field the moment the formation light disappeared. However, as soon as they entered the star field, these old monsters heard a shocking piece of news, and their expressions changed drastically. Even the true immortals of the True Crossing Realm could not remain calm. The Yao family had been destroyed. The murderer's name was Chiaki. This person had killed 146 Life Immortals and 80,000 Void Fragmentation Realm experts all by himself. This person plundered the entire Yao family, emptying the Yao family's millions of years of heritage. Impossible! That old ancestor Qianqiu is only at the Void Fragmentation Realm. How could he have the ability to kill 146 immortals? A Life Immortal Realm expert's face turned pale the moment he heard the news. He was just a Life Immortal Realm expert. Would he be killed by Ning Fan when he came to exchange his head for the reward? Monarch formation. It was an Emperor formation. That old demon Qianqiu possessed a corner of the formation runes and used it to destroy the entire Yao family. The other Life Immortal found out the cause of Yao family's destruction, but he didn't feel relaxed at all. Impossible. Old Devil Qianqiu's cultivation base is just at the void fragmentation realm. How is it possible for him to have an Emperor formation mark? So what if you think it's impossible? Old Demon Qianqiu did indeed possess the Imperial formation and slaughtered all the immortals of the realm. This is an indisputable fact. Oh right, I heard that Ancestor Qianqiu slaughtered the entire Yao family and seized more than 100 billion Dao crystal. What? Over 100 billion? So many. The old monsters who entered the Yao sect star region from the Heavenly Water Star region turned pale with fright when they heard about Ning Fan's terrifying battle achievements. However, as soon as they heard that Ning Fan had seized more than 100 billion Dao crystals, their eyes flashed with greed again. As the domain locking grand array opened, news of the Yao family's destruction spread like wildfire to the other star fields. Ning Fan's ferocious name spread across the entire eastern heaven at an astonishing speed. At this moment, no one regarded Ning Fan as a fat sheep waiting to be slaughtered. Ordinary Life Immortal Realm experts no longer had the courage to continue chasing after him. However, more and more true immortals were interested in Ning Fan. The reward of 10 billion could only move the heart of an early-stage crossing truth true immortal. 100 billion Dao crystals was enough to move the heart of an old monster at the peak of crossing truth peak. Currently, it was widely rumored that Ning Fan had plundered more than 100 billion Dao crystals from the Yao clan. A man's wealth is his own ruin. There was no doubt that these Dao crystals would bring trouble to Ning Fan. Of course, the biggest problem was the slaughter hall's clear cloud elder, Yao Qingyun. This person had once been expelled by the Yao clan, but because of old ties, he supported the Yao clan. No one knew if Yao Qingyun would kill Ning Fan to avenge the Yao clan. In the starry sky, a star gate suddenly appeared at the border between the Skywater star field and the Yao sect star field. Then, a white-robed young man with towering killing intent walked out of the star door and walked toward the array gate of the Skywater star zone. The murderous aura on his body is so dreadful that even a true immortal at the early stage of the crossing truth realm would find it hard to withstand his murderous aura and devil might. Many experts were passing through the array gate of the Heavenly Water sector, including Life Immortals and Perfected Immortals. They all saw the white-clothed youth. They recognized him. He was Ning Fan. Ning Fan who massacred the Yao clan. He's old demon Qianqiu. 146 Life Immortals in the Yao sect star zone died in his hands. There were a total of 16 Life Immortals here. 4 of them were Life Immortals who were in charge of guarding the Heavenly Water Formation Gate, while the other 12 were Life Immortals who were just passing by. When the 16 Life Immortals saw Ning Fan's face, their expressions varied. There was apprehension, shock, greed, murderous intent, and dread. There were also 2 true immortals at the early crossing truth realm who were staring at the white-robed youth with cold eyes. Their eyes were filled with greedy killing intent. In their opinion, even though Ning Fan was infamous, it was all because of the Emperor formation marks. Emperor formation marks were extremely rare. It was impossible for Ning Fan to possess a second one. Of course, they could not rule out the possibility that Ning Fan had other heaven-defying means. If they kill Ning Fan, they would be able to seize his storage pouch and obtain 200 billion Dao crystals. Why not? If they could obtain the Dao crystals without killing Ning Fan, it would be even better. They could reap benefits without fighting. Hand over all the Dao crystals you have and we will spare your life. The 2 true immortal old men each took a step forward and spoke to Ning Fan coldly with their powerful auras. Even though they were greedy for Ning Fan's Dao crystals, they were still very cautious. If they could obtain the Dao crystals without fighting, they would not mind letting Ning Fan go. If they were to fight and Ning Fan used other heaven-defying means, it would not be fun anymore. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He stood outside the heavenly water formation with baleful chi protecting his body. He was not affected by the auras of the two true immortals. Without saying anything, he patted his soul pouch and summoned 80,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits and 146 life immortal realm primordial spirits. After these primordial spirits went through special treatment, they were no longer living beings. These primordial spirits could use the spirit explosion technique. 108 life immortal realm primordial spirits could kill an early crossing truth realm true immortal. 146 life immortal realm primordial spirits and 80,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits could even kill a mid-crossing truth realm true immortal. The primordial spirits with blank eyes and dense death chi hovered above Ning Fan's head while wailing like ghosts. As Ning Fan's hand seals changed slightly, a terrifying wave spread out from the primordial spirits in the sky. That was the wave of primordial spirits that were about to self-detonate. If so many primordial spirits self-detonate, there would not be a single person left alive in this place except for Ning Fan. All of a sudden, the expressions of the 16 life immortal realm and the two true immortal realm experts changed drastically. They were horrified. The greed in everyone's eyes turned into deep fear. The two true immortal realm old men, in particular, could vaguely recognize the ability that Ning Fan just displayed. Fear filled their hearts. Even though the two of them had never seen the spirit explosion technique with their own eyes, they had long heard about the famous spirit explosion technique of the Yao family. The most shocking battle that the founder of the Yao family, Yao Hongshan, had in his life was when he slightly injured an immortal emperor with the primordial spirits of 3,000 true immortals. One should know that Yao Hongshan was just at the Shedding Void realm at that time. Injuring an immortal emperor with the help of Shedding Void realm was supposed to be nonsense. However, it became a reality in Yao Hongshan's hands. Even though he only slightly injured that immortal emperor, Yao Hongshan still gained the recognition of that immortal emperor. The spirit explosion technique was famous across the world for a period of time. Unfortunately, after Yao Hongshan's death, this technique was eventually sealed and its fame was gradually forgotten by the people. The two true immortals could roughly tell that the technique that Ning Fan displayed was the spirit explosion technique. Moreover, Ning Fan had too many primordial spirits. If he uses the spirit explosion technique, perhaps he could even kill a mid-Dujin realm expert in an instant. Once this technique is activated, all 18 immortals present would die. This young man must not be provoked. If we anger him and he uses the spirit explosion technique, we will certainly die without a doubt. There is absolutely no possibility of survival. The two true immortals turned pale with fright. They exchanged glances with each other and hurriedly cupped their fists to apologize to Ning Fan. "Little friend, please calm down. The two of us were just joking with you. Little friend, quickly retract your primordial spirits. You mustn't act rashly." When the 16 life immortals and many void fragmentation realm cultivators saw the two true immortals rushing to apologize to Ning Fan, all of them sighed with emotion. No one laughed at the two true immortals' cowardice. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that if Ning Fan gets angry and explodes all of his primordial spirits, none of the cultivators at the formation entrance would be able to survive. Get lost. Ning Fan stared at the two true immortals coldly. His eyes were filled with monstrous baleful chi, causing the souls of all the immortals present to tremble. His tone was not polite at all. He just wanted to show off his arrogant appearance. The more arrogant he was, the more others would think that he had many trump cards and be afraid of him. Being scolded by a void fragmentation realm junior was a humiliating thing. However, the two true immortals did not feel humiliated. Instead, they felt fortunate. Fortunately, Ning Fan asked them to get lost instead of killing them. It would be best if they could keep their lives. This Ning Fan is really a ruthless character that cannot be provoked. The two true immortals no longer dared to stay at this place. They cupped their fists at Ning Fan again and left in a hurry. All the cultivators at the scene sucked in a cold breath. It was their first time seeing true immortals being scared away by a void fragmentation realm cultivator. Each of the old monsters looked at Ning Fan with incomparable respect. Old Devil Qian Qiu truly lives up to his name. He isn't someone we can afford to offend. Even old monster Duzhen doesn't dare to provoke him. We must not offend him. After the true immortals left, the life immortals and void fragmentation realm cultivators kept quiet out of fear. They did not dare to look Ning Fan in the eye. With the Spirit Blast technique, even a late-stage true immortal would not dare to provoke Ning Fan unless Ning Fan exhausted all of his primordial spirit. How would they have the guts to go against Ning Fan? Each of the life immortals lowered their heads and wanted to leave this place as soon as possible. They did not want to have too much contact with Ning Fan to avoid getting themselves into trouble. The 4 life immortals who guarded the formation door swallowed their saliva and complained incessantly. They were responsible for guarding the formation door. Hence, they could not leave easily. When Ning Fan entered the formation door, they would also be responsible for verifying his identity. If they did that, they might anger Ning Fan and get themselves into trouble. The Heavenly Water Star region was just a mid-grade star region. With Ning Fan's Spirit Blast technique, no one would dare to offend him. Wait. The 3 of you can't leave. The rest of you can leave now. Ning Fan's eyes turned slightly cold. His killing intent locked on the 3 life immortals who wanted to leave this place. All of them were devil hunters with a bounty. From the very beginning, the 3 of them had wanted to kill him. Among the 3 of them, 2 of them were at the early human profound realm while the last one was at the mid-human profound realm. Most importantly, the 3 of them had the insignia of the Pill sect on their bodies. They were probably cultivators from the subordinate forces of the Pill sect. The 3 life immortals who were locked on by Ning Fan's killing intent felt a chill down their spines. They panicked and did not stop. Instead, they moved even faster. When the other life immortals saw that Ning Fan did not make things difficult for them, they heaved a sigh of relief. They did not intend to meddle in this matter and hurriedly left. Ning Fan did not even look at the other life immortals. His killing intent was always locked on the 3 subordinates of the Pill sect. Before Ning Fan kept the sky-covering primordial spirits, he flicked his finger and 1,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits flew towards the 2 early human profound realm experts. Another 2,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits flew towards the mid-human profound realm old monster. All of a sudden, 4,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits self-detonated in the starry sky. The destructive waves engulfed the 3 life immortals. 3 blood-curdling screams were heard and the 3 of them died at the same time. Ning Fan did not collect their primordial spirits to use for his technique. Instead, he chose to kill them directly. As for the reason, it was naturally because he wanted to exchange the heads of the 3 bounty devils for the reward. The heads must contain the remnant power of the primordial spirits. Therefore, if he were to exchange the heads for the reward, he would not be able to keep the primordial spirits to use his technique. Ning Fan killed 3 life immortals with just a raise of his hand. His terrifying means sent chills down the spines of the cultivators in the area. The 4 life immortals who were guarding the place swallowed their saliva at the same time. Looking at the 76,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits and the 146 primordial spirits of the life immortals around Ning Fan, all of them felt their scalps go numb. The 4 of them became even more convinced that they must never provoke Ning Fan. Otherwise, they would be easily killed by him. After collecting the corpses and storage pouches of the 3 life immortals, Ning Fan only kept their heads. As for the other body parts, he refined them into blood and flesh essences and threw them into the cauldron world for Zili to eat. Zili was definitely the one who gained the most from the battle in Yao Sect Star region. I wonder how much would Zili's cultivation base rise to after devouring the blood and flesh of all the void fragmentation realm and life immortals. After killing the 3 subordinates of the Pill sect, Ning Fan's bounty of 10 billion devil heads was already on him. As long as he turns in the task, the disciples of the Slaughter Palace would no longer attack him. Of course, this did not include Yao Qingyun's. If Yao Qingyun really comes, Ning Fan could only use the death exemption token that Wu Qin gave him to block the calamity. With this token, he could be exempted from all crimes except for those who betrayed the palace. No one could take Ning Fan's life, including Sha Di. Even if Ning Fan was not a member of the Slaughter Palace, Yao Qingyun could not kill him either. It was because of this token that Ning Fan dared to take the risk of angering Yao Qingyun and destroy the Yao clan. However, even if Yao Qingyun did not kill him for the sake of this token, he still offended her after all. After joining the Slaughter Palace in the future, Ning Fan's life would certainly not be easy. To kill someone, one did not necessarily have to act directly. With Yao Qingyun's status, he only needed to arrange some extremely dangerous tasks for Ning Fan and it would be enough for him to die 100 times. Putting Yao Qingyun's troubles aside for the time being, the problem of the Slaughter Palace's bounty had also come to an end. The new problem was the Dao crystals. Ning Fan had too many Dao crystals. It was enough to tempt a peak cultivator at the Crossing Truth Realm. It might be able to tempt old monster Shikong. After passing the Heavenly Water Star region would be the Sky Emperor Star region. It was a high-grade star region. The Star Lord of the main star, the Sky Emperor Star, was a Shikong. Now that the Slaughter Palace's disciple recruitment ceremony was approaching, Ning Fan did not know if there were any other Shikongs staying in the Sky Emperor Star region. In fact, the way to avoid being targeted by Shikong was very simple. Before those Shikong old monsters come to find him, he could spend all his immortal jade in front of countless cultivators. Ning Fan's goal was to spend all his money in the Heavenly Water Star region. Of course, there were countless ways to spend money. His eyes turned slightly cold. He thought of the best way to spend money which would certainly benefit the sect master of the Pill sect for the rest of his life. Didn't the Pill sect put a bounty of 10 billion on his head? He would pay them back in their own coin. Due to the great battle, Ning Fan did not have the time to collect the silver badge from Yao Zongxing's slaughter pavilion. However, the number of slaughter badges he obtained from annihilating the Yao clan was not small. Yao Li, the outstanding disciple of the Yao clan, was not in the Yao sect star region. He had already gone to the Slaughter Palace and avoided death under the chaotic ancient emperor formation. The slaughter badges that the Yao clan plundered for Yao Li had all fallen into Ning Fan's pocket. There were more than 1,400 silver badges. Ning Fan, who originally had less than 200 badges, now had more than 1,600 badges. To Ning Fan, who wanted to join the Slaughter Palace, this was definitely a windfall. Ning Fan remained silent for a while. He put away all his distracting thoughts and retracted his primordial spirit that filled the sky. Then, he walked towards the 4 heavenly water life immortals who were guarding the formation entrance. The 4 life immortals were extremely nervous. Before Ning Fan could approach them, they took a step forward and greeted him respectfully. "We, the cultivators of the heavenly water realm, greet old ancestor Qian Qiu." The 4 life immortals were actually treating Ning Fan with the same respect as juniors treating their elders. Ning Fan's eyes were expressionless. He said indifferently, "Who has the heavenly water celestial plate? Sell me one." "I have it. If old ancestor Qian Qiu needs it, you can just take it. There's no need to pay for it," the 4 of them said in unison. If they don't please Ning Fan now, when should they do so? Chapter 727. The 4 heavenly water life immortals tried their best to please Ning Fan as they were afraid that he would destroy the entire heavenly water star region in a fit of anger. If he could use a mere star compass to please Ning Fan, it would naturally be for the best. Ning Fan ignored the 4 of them. He took the star compass from one of them and handed him a storage pouch that contained 1 million Dao crystals. The Astral Mercury astrolabe on the market was about this price. He had no enmity with the cultivators of Tian Shui. He did not need them to please him, nor did he need to owe them favors. After obtaining the heavenly water star plate, Ning Fan's body flashed and turned into a ray of traveling light, speeding towards the main star of the heavenly water star. Seeing Ning Fan leaving, the 4 heavenly water life immortals heaved a sigh of relief at the same time. Fortunately, Ning Fan did not go berserk and kill them. Along the way, he encountered quite a number of Void Fragmentation Realm and Life Immortal Realm experts. He even met a few true immortals at the True Crossing Realm. The few True Crossing Realm true immortals went straight towards Yao Zong's star field, It seemed like they were eager to take his head. When they encountered Ning Fan, a small number of ghost profound life immortals would block his path. As for the true immortals, they did not hesitate to stop Ning Fan, wanting to kill him and seize his treasures. In the face of these people, Ning Fan did not say a word. He just summoned countless void fragmentation realm and life immortal realm primordial spirits and performed the hand seals of the spirit blasting technique. As a result, countless life immortals and true immortals were frightened by Ning Fan's ruthless means. Thus, before Ning Fan even reached the Heavenly Water Star, his devil name had already spread across the entire Heavenly Water Star region. Even the intermediate and late True Crossing realm true immortals were scared off by Ning Fan. Have you heard? That old devil Qianqiu has already entered our Heavenly Water Star region and is heading straight for our Heavenly Water Star. A void fragmentation realm cultivator who was patrolling outside the Heavenly Water Star said to his companion mysteriously, "Old demon Qianqiu, old demon Thousand Autumns, the one who slaughtered all the immortals in the Yao sect galaxy." Countless patrolling cultivators were horrified. There are many foreign perfected immortals in the Skywater galaxy. Although old demon Qianqiu has the ability to kill life immortals, he shouldn't be able to fight perfected immortals, right? I don't think he would dare to behave atrociously in Heavenly Water Star region. A few patrolling cultivators said in a low voice. Haven't you heard? That old demon Qianqiu had stolen the Yao clan's founding ancestors' famous technique, the God Blast art. Currently, he had more than 70,000 void fragmentation realm primordial spirits and 146 life immortal realm primordial spirits. If he were to use the spirit blasting technique, he could even kill an intermediate true immortal instantly and severely injure a late true immortal. Along the way, he has already scared off many perfected immortals. God Blast art? What's that? Haven't you heard? The ancestor of the Yao family once used this technique to injure an immortal emperor at the Void Renhuang realm. What? That God Blast art is such a terrifying art. One of the Void Fragmentation realm patrolling cultivators described the scariness of the soul blasting technique in a vivid manner. The other patrolling cultivators were greatly shocked. After the death of the Yao clan's founding ancestor, the God Blast art was lost. Very few cultivators below the perfected immortal realm knew about this art. Yao Honglei was lucky enough to inherit this technique, but he did not have the strength to capture a large number of experts' primordial spirits, so he naturally could not make this technique famous again. Today, however, Ning Fan had overthrown the Yao clan and obtained this technique. Moreover, he relied on this technique to travel across the Eastern Heaven, scaring off countless life immortals and true immortals. This technique was now known to the world once again. A technique that could make a void fragmentation realm cultivator scare off a true immortal was certainly extremely powerful. Outside the Heavenly Water Star, a group of patrolling cultivators were chatting casually. All of a sudden, an incomparably ferocious ray of traveling light dashed towards them at full speed. A red ray of light shot up into the sky. That traveling light came at an extremely fast speed. In the blink of an eye, it had already arrived outside the Heavenly Water Star. As the traveling light faded, a white-robed young man appeared. His body was surrounded by a dazzling blood-red light. His baleful qi was so dense that it was suffocating. The moment this white-robed young man arrived, all the patrolling cultivators were greatly shocked. Old devil Qianqiu. He's coming to the Heavenly Water Star. A few patrolling cultivators hurriedly crushed their messaging jade slips. All of a sudden, the expressions of the 13 life immortals on the entire Heavenly Water Star changed drastically. They hurriedly left the star and looked at the white-robed young man in panic. Who else could this white-robed young man be other than Ning Fan? Among the 13 life immortals, 5 of them were at the early human profound realm, 3 of them were at the mid-human profound realm, 2 of them were at the late human profound realm, 2 of them were at the peak human profound realm, and 1 of them was at the early ghost profound realm. Logically speaking, this group of arrogant old monsters would never lower their heads to a void fragmentation realm cultivator. However, at this moment, The 13 life immortals actually did not dare to breathe loudly in front of Ning Fan. They had already received information about Ning Fan. They knew that he had learned the Spirit Blast technique, which could even scare off mid and late true immortals. Among the 13 life immortals, the leader of the Ghost Profound Realm life immortals was called Yuan Qinzi. Yuan Qinzi's master was a ghost-masked assassin from the Slaughter Palace. His cultivation base was at the True Crossing Realm. With this relationship, ordinary true immortals would not dare to provoke Yuan Qinzi. If it was during normal times, Yuan Qinzi would be able to handle even a true immortal at the True Crossing Realm with ease. He would not panic at all. Today, however, he was facing Ning Fan, a ruthless person who even dared to slaughter the Yao clan. He was a ferocious devil who had killed 146 life immortals all by himself. Yuan Qinzi was naturally extremely afraid of Ning Fan. The backer of the Yao clan was Elder Qin Yun of the Slaughter Palace. Ning Fan still slaughtered the entire Yao clan without hesitation. He was not afraid of Yao Qin Yun at all. Yuan Qinzi's backer was just a ghost-masked assassin at the True Crossing Realm. Why would Ning Fan be afraid of him? Now that Ning Fan had the Spirit Blast technique, if he really wants to slaughter the entire Heavenly Water Star region, no one would be able to stop him. I wonder what brings fellow Taoist Qian Qiu to my planet? Yuan Qinzi forced a smile on his face unnaturally and looked at Ning Fan with an apologetic smile. He was originally a serious person. When had he ever lowered his voice and apologized to Ning Fan? Of course, he was not used to it. However, he did not dare to not smile at Ning Fan. He was afraid that if he angered Ning Fan, he would die a violent death. Ning Fan's gaze swept across the 13 life immortals. When he saw the fear on their faces, he sighed inwardly. However, he did not show any unusual expression on his face. These people were afraid of him because he possessed a large amount of primordial spirit and knew the Spirit Blast technique. Once his primordial spirit is exhausted, would these people still be afraid of him? At the end of the day, the Spirit Blast technique was just an external force. Only by improving his cultivation base could he truly have the power to protect himself. If I can find the longevity jade for Nuan Air, I should start to break my life-breaking realm and become an immortal. Ning Fan thought to himself. Seeing that Ning Fan did not say anything for a long time, the 13 life immortals felt uneasy. They could not feel at ease as they could not figure out Ning Fan's purpose for coming here. Those void fragmentation realm guards became even more terrified. Each of them felt as if their hearts were in their throats. If Ning Fan really wants to slaughter the entire Heavenly Water Star region, they could only bow their heads and wait for their deaths. Fellow Taoist Qian Qiu, please be magnanimous and let my Heavenly Water Star region go. In the end, Yuan Qinzi could not bear the heavy pressure anymore. He gritted his teeth and voiced out his worries. Ning Fan was slightly stunned. He snapped out of his thoughts and said to Yuan Qinzi, "Don't worry, fellow Taoist. I just want to buy some things from the Heavenly Water Star region. I won't cause any trouble here. I've long heard that the Heavenly Water Star is a famous trading star. Now that I've seen it, it really lives up to its reputation." Ning Fan scanned the Heavenly Water Star with his spirit sense. When he saw that there were countless trading cities on the planet, he nodded his head in satisfaction. He had already made up his mind to spend all of his Tao crystals in this place. His cultivation base had already reached the peak of the void fragmentation realm. He could no longer absorb the power of the Tao crystals for cultivation. To him, the Tao crystals were just money. Money could not be used to make money even if it was placed there. If he keeps too much of it, it would also attract the attention of old monster Shikong. The wise move was to convert all of his money into items that could save his life and help him cultivate. In the cultivation world, a miser would not live long. Is fellow Taoist really just here to buy things from the Heavenly Water Star? Yuan Qinzi asked in surprise. Of course. As soon as he heard what Ning Fan said, Yuan Qinzi was overjoyed. All of his worries were swept away. As long as Ning Fan was not here to slaughter a star, everything would be fine. I wonder what kind of things fellow Taoist wants to buy. It's not that I'm boasting, but even though my Heavenly Water Star is a mid-grade trading star, We can often obtain some extraordinary items because it's close to the Imperial Star region. Some of the heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures on our star are not necessarily available even in the high-grade trading stars of the outer regions. I'm sure fellow Taoist will return from my heavenly water star with great rewards. Yuan Chenzi said politely with a smile. After hearing what fellow Taoist said, I can't wait to go to your star as soon as possible and have a look around. Ha! It's fellow Taoist's first time coming to the heavenly water star. I suppose you're not familiar with it. Why don't we accompany you and bring you around this star? What do you think? Yuan Chenzi laughed heartily. What he meant was that he wanted all the life immortals on this star to accompany Ning Fan to shop on this star. Firstly, it was to show their courtesy towards Ning Fan. Secondly, it was also to keep an eye on him. If Ning Fan really had the intention to destroy the entire heavenly water star region, even though Yuan Chenzi and the others were afraid of Ning Fan, they had no choice but to fight him to the death. Ning Fan gave Yuan Chenzi a deep look. He could see through all of Yuan Chenzi's thoughts with just a glance, but he did not point it out. Under the company of Yuan Chenzi and the other life immortals, Ning Fan flew towards the largest trading city of this trip. Thus, another shocking news spread like wildfire in the heavenly water star region. Ning Fan wanted to buy some things on the heavenly water star. All of the 13 life immortals, including Yuan Chenzi, were willing to accompany him. Ning Fan's reputation was really too great. Even a true immortal at the True Crossing realm would not be able to enjoy such courtesy when they visit the star. The heavenly water star was very close to the Blood Sea star region. There was only one high-grade star region between them. Yuan Chenzi did not lie to Ning Fan. There were indeed a lot of heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures on this star. The mistress of the heavenly water star region was a true immortal realm assassin of the Slaughter Palace. Most of the rare items on this star were provided by that true immortal realm expert. Most of the Tao crystals earned on this star were also given to that true immortal realm expert. Therefore, there were a lot of heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures on this star, but not many Tao crystals. Ning Fan first went to the Spiritual Medicine Pavilion and bought all 49 tufts of 1 million years old spiritual herbs, claiming that he wanted to use them to cultivate the three-flower converging prominence technique. Yuan Chenzi gave Ning Fan a 10% discount for this transaction, but it still cost Ning Fan 10 billion Tao crystals. After buying all the 1 million years old spiritual herbs, Ning Fan went to the Immortal Pill Pavilion and bought several hundreds of 8th Revolution secret pills. These secret pills could either increase one's speed within a short period of time, increase one's magic power, or improve the strength of one's physical body. The reason why Ning Fan bought these pills was naturally to increase his life-saving means. After the transaction, Ning Fan spent another 20 billion Tao crystals. Seeing Ning Fan spend 30 billion Tao crystals in a row without blushing or panting, Yuan Chenzi and the others felt ashamed of their inferiority. They were impressed by Ning Fan's wealth. An ordinary life immortal realm expert was already considered a wealthy person if he had 1 billion Tao crystals. A slightly poorer life immortal realm expert might not even have 500 million Tao crystals. Some of them even only had a few million Tao crystals. All of their money had been spent on their cultivation. For example, a ghost profound life immortal like Yuan Chenzi only had 3 billion Tao crystals. However, after thinking about it for a while, Yuan Chenzi and the others understood why Ning Fan was so rich. According to the rumors, Ning Fan had plundered more than 100 billion Tao crystals from the Yao clan. Now, it seemed like the rumors were definitely true. On second thought, the reason why Ning Fan came to this place to spend his Tao crystals in front of countless people was probably because he wanted to spend all his Tao crystals in front of them to avoid being coveted by Peak Crossing True Immortals and True Immortals Shikong. This kid is a decisive person and knows when to give and take. In order to avoid the tribulation, he was actually willing to spend 100 billion Tao crystals in one go. Yuan Chenzi looked at Ning Fan with admiration. Yuan Chenzi asked himself, if he had obtained 100 billion Tao crystals, he would definitely not be willing to spend it all at once. 100 billion Tao crystals might be able to buy enough heavenly materials and earthly treasures to break through to the late stage or even the peak of the ghost profound realm. In the face of such great benefits, how many people could keep their hearts calm and know how to make a choice? After leaving the Immortal Dan Pavilion, Ning Fan went to the Profound Formation Pavilion and bought more than 100 low-grade Immortal Formation discs, 23 mid-grade Immortal Formation discs and 3 high-grade Immortal Formation discs. These formation discs consumed a total of 30 billion Tao crystals. Ning Fan spent money like flowing water, but he did not show any sign of heartache. A low-grade immortal array could slightly defend against the attack of an early-stage human profound realm expert. A mid-grade immortal array could defend against the attack of a late-stage human profound realm expert. A high-grade immortal array could defend against an early-stage ghost profound realm attack. There are still 140 billion Tao crystals. Ning Fan's eyes flickered. He left the Profound Formation Pavilion and went straight to the Immortal Talisman Pavilion. He did not buy any defensive immortal talismans. What he bought were all offensive and movement-type immortal talismans. Immortal formations were enough for defense. Ning Fan bought 97 low-grade immortal talismans, 19 mid-grade immortal talismans and 2 high-grade immortal talismans. After annihilating the Yao clan, he obtained 4 jade slips of the Ghost Profound Realm attack and 1 jade slip of the Truth Crossing strike. With these methods, even if Ning Fan had used the Divine Blast technique, he would still have the power to fight against an early-stage true immortal. He spent a total of 30 billion Tao crystals to buy immortal talismans. After leaving the Immortal Talisman Pavilion, Ning Fan went straight to the Puppet Pavilion. When he saw that there were no life immortal realm spiritual puppets, he was slightly disappointed and did not buy any. Ning Fan did not go to the 100 Treasures Pavilion. He did not lack magic treasures. If he breaks through to the life immortal realm, his memory-severing Tao sword would be the most suitable magic treasure for him. It was worth it for him to spend some effort to refine it. In the Cauldron Pavilion, there were no life immortal realm cauldrons and only 11 void fragmentation realm cauldrons. Ning Fan bought 11 void fragmentation realm cauldrons and only spent 200 million Tao crystals. His cultivation base had already reached the peak of the void fragmentation realm. He could no longer advance further unless he breaks through to the immortal realm. Plucking these cauldrons could not increase his cultivation base, but it could slightly increase the grade of his yin-yang transformation cultivation method. Ning Fan still had 110 billion Tao crystals. After thinking for a while, he went straight to the Slaughter Pavilion. When Yuan Chenzi and the others saw Ning Fan heading to the Slaughter Pavilion, they were slightly surprised, but they followed closely behind him. "How many Tao crystals do you think this old ancestor Qianqiu has?" one of the life immortal realm experts asked in a low voice through telepathy. "He has already spent 90 billion Tao crystals. I'm afraid he only has a few tens of billions of Tao crystals left." Another person pondered and answered, "Speaking of which, why is he going to the Slaughter Pavilion? Is he going to pay a reward?" Another life immortal realm expert asked, "Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. We just need to follow behind him. This person has already gone around every corner of our heavenly water trading city. After going to the Slaughter Pavilion, he is most likely going to leave soon. We just need to try our best to please him. Don't offend him before he leaves. Otherwise, we will only bring trouble to ourselves." Yuan Chenzi transmitted his voice coldly to the life immortal realm experts behind him. His tone was far less polite than when he was talking to Ning Fan. He had never been a person who treated others politely. The reason why he was polite to Ning Fan was because he was too infamous and terrifying. To others, he had always been cold and harsh. The pavilion master of the Slaughter Pavilion of the Heavenly Water Star was just a rogue immortal. He was resting with his eyes closed in the Slaughter Pavilion. All of a sudden, he sensed a large group of experts approaching him. His expression immediately changed and he hurriedly walked out of the pavilion. From the chi of these experts, he sensed Yuan Chenzi's chi. Naturally, he did not dare to be careless. Even though he was the pavilion master of the Slaughter Pavilion, he was not a reputable figure in the Slaughter Palace. The Lord of the Heavenly Water Star, on the other hand, was a true immortal realm assassin who had quite a high status in the Slaughter Palace. Therefore, this pavilion master's position in the Heavenly Water Star was not high. If it was any other cultivation star, even if the Star Lord was a life immortal realm expert, he would also need to please the pavilion master of the Slaughter Pavilion. On this star, it was the opposite. The pavilion master needed to do his best to please the Heavenly Water Star Lord, who was also Yuan Qinzi. Star Lord Yuan Qin is here? This lineup. The pavilion master of the Rogue Immortal Pavilion walked out of the Slaughter Pavilion quickly. Just as he was about to welcome Yuan Qinzi, he was stunned on the spot. He saw Yuan Qinzi and 13 other life immortals following behind a white-robed young man with smiles on their faces. They looked like they were trying to please him. The pavilion master rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Yuan Qinzi, who had always been arrogant and cold, actually knew how to smile and treat others so respectfully. All 13 life immortals, including Yuan Qinzi, were trying their best to please the white-robed young man. Who exactly was this white-robed young man? The pavilion master fixed his eyes on the white-robed young man, and his face instantly turned pale with fear. Old Ancestor Qianqiu. Why is he here in the Heavenly Water Star? What are you panicking for? Fellow Taoist Qianqiu is my distinguished guest. He is not here to cause trouble. He has come to the Slaughter Pavilion to settle some matters. You have to receive him well and don't neglect him. Do you understand? Yuan Qinzi snorted coldly and looked at the pavilion master unhappily and reprimanded him. I was too excited and my words were rude. Please forgive me, Star Lord. The pavilion master was drenched in cold sweat and hurriedly apologized to Yuan Qinzi. Yuan Qinzi, on the other hand, no longer paid attention to him. He was just a rogue immortal who was not worthy of his attention. He turned around and looked at Ning Fan. His cold face was filled with a fake smile again. Fellow Taoist Qianqiu, please. Yuan Qinzi made an inviting gesture to Ning Fan. Under the escort of the group of life immortals, Ning Fan entered the Slaughter Pavilion. The pavilion master wiped off the cold sweat on his forehead and hurriedly followed him into the Slaughter Pavilion. As soon as they entered the Slaughter Pavilion, Yuan Qinzi and the others stood at one side. They were very sensible and did not want to disturb Ning Fan while he was doing his business. May I know why Senior Qianqiu has come to my pavilion? The pavilion master cupped his fists respectfully and asked in a low voice. I have come here to settle 3 matters. Firstly, I want to challenge the pavilion master of this pavilion. As soon as Ning Fan said that, the pavilion master's face immediately turned pale with fright. How could he have the guts to fight Ning Fan? Ning Fan's deity blast technique was so powerful that even a late true crossing realm expert had to retreat. How could he be Ning Fan's opponent? This junior admits defeat. This is the badge of my pavilion. Please keep it well, senior. The pavilion master sensibly took out the silver badge and handed it to Ning Fan. He directly gave up and admitted defeat in this duel where there was a huge disparity in strength. Ning Fan nodded and kept the silver badge. Then he continued. The second matter is that I want to submit my mission. As soon as he finished speaking, he patted his storage pouch and pointed at the counter. All of a sudden, bloody heads fell on the counter. There were void fragmentation realm experts and life immortals. All of them were bounty devils. So many bounty devils. Yuan Qinzi and the others were shocked while the pavilion master of the Rogue Immortal Pavilion was already beyond shocked. As the pavilion master of the Slaughter Pavilion, even if he was not strong, he knew the information about the bounty devils in the Eastern Heaven like the back of his hand. He roughly calculated that the bounty of these bounty demons was worth a total of 11 billion Dao crystal. All of a sudden, his heart turned cold. According to the rules of the Slaughter Palace, 20% of the bounty would be taken as an intermediary fee. 20% of the bounty would be 2 billion Dao crystals. The pavilion master swallowed his saliva. He was very afraid that Ning Fan would kill him out of anger if he asked for 2 billion Dao crystals as an intermediary fee. 2 billion Dao crystals was not a small amount. Senior, The total value of these bounty devils has reached 11 billion Dao crystals. After you submit these missions, the Slaughter Palace will no longer send any assassins to kill you for the bounty. According to the rules of my Slaughter Pavilion, 20% of the bounty will be taken as an intermediary fee. 20% will be 2 billion Dao crystals. The pavilion master lowered his head very low. His body was drenched in cold sweat. He did not dare to imagine what kind of dissatisfied expression Ning Fan would have after hearing about the huge intermediary fee. However, rules were rules. He was just a rogue immortal cultivator. How would he dare to violate the rules of the Slaughter Palace? He really wanted to waive Ning Fan's intermediary fee. Unfortunately, he did not have the authority to do so. It's all right. You don't have to panic. Just give me the money that should be given to me. As soon as he heard Ning Fan's words, the pavilion master felt as if he had been pardoned from a great crime. He immediately ordered a child to fetch 8 billion Dao crystals and hand them over to Ning Fan. Ning Fan kept the Dao crystals and remained silent for a while. Then he suddenly spoke. The reason why I came here is because I have a third matter to attend to. I wonder if your Slaughter Pavilion is qualified to issue a bounty order with its level? Yes. Any Slaughter Pavilion can accept the bounty order. The pavilion master answered respectfully. I wonder if there is an upper limit for the bounty reward? Ning Fan asked again. There is no upper limit. If Senior offers 100 million Dao crystals, the bounty reward that my pavilion issues will be 100 million Dao crystals. If Senior offers 1 billion Dao crystals, the bounty reward that my pavilion issues will be 1 billion Dao crystals. There is no upper limit for the bounty reward. There is only a lower limit which is at least 1 million Dao crystals. Therefore, the lowest bounty for a devil head in the Eastern Heaven is also 1 million Dao crystals. I want to issue a mission to kill a person. This person's identity is a little high. I wonder if your pavilion dares to accept this mission? The pavilion master's heart skipped a beat. The expressions of Yuan Chenzi and the other life immortals changed. Since Ning Fan said that the person he wanted to kill had a very high identity, it was naturally extremely high. They wondered who Ning Fan wanted to kill? About the assassination mission, my pavilion has its own rules. Firstly, don't accept the mission to kill the cultivators of the Slaughter Palace. Second, he wouldn't accept missions to kill cultivators in the eternal ancient realm. As long as the person Senior wants to kill is not within these two areas, our pavilion will accept the mission and issue a bounty. I see. Ning Fan nodded. In other words, after joining the slaughter hall, no one would be able to set a bounty on him anymore? I want the head of the Pill Sect's sect master. The bounty is 100 billion Dao crystal. As soon as he finished speaking, Ning Fan took out an exquisite storage pouch which contained 100 billion Dao crystals. He threw the Dao crystal on the counter, but the rogue immortal pavilion master did not dare to receive it. He stood rooted to the ground in shock. As for Yuan Chenzi and the other fate immortals, their expressions changed drastically. They stared at Ning Fan in disbelief. Ning Fan is really audacious. He actually dares to hunt down the sect master of the Pill Sect. And this bounty was 100 billion Dao crystals. One must know that the sect leader of the alchemy faction was only at the Crossing Truth realm. 100 billion Dao crystals was enough to attract the interest of countless true immortals Du Zhen and even true immortals Shikong. In the eastern sky, the Pill Sect was indeed very powerful. On the surface, there were very few people who dared to openly deal with the Pill Sect. However, it was hard to guarantee that there would not be any void-shedding devil lord who had their eyes on the head of the sect master of the Pill Sect and would kill him for the bounty. Once Ning Fan issues a bounty order to hunt down the sect master of the Pill Sect, it would mean that he had publicly broken off his relationship with the Pill Sect. Yuan Chenzi and the others could not help but sigh at Ning Fan's boldness and generosity. He even dared to hunt down the sect master of the Pill Sect. Moreover, he did not even blink his eyes when he threw out a bounty of 100 billion. However, when they thought about it, Ning Fan even dared to slaughter the Yao clan and offend Yao Qingyun. Thus, it was not surprising that he dared to provoke the Pill Sect. Compared to Elder Qin Yun, What was the pill sect? Say, Senior, are you really going to issue this bounty? The rogue immortal pavilion master swallowed his saliva and asked with uncertainty. In the entire slaughter hall, there were only 7 bounties with more than 100 billion Tao crystals. If this bounty is issued, it would be the 8th bounty of 100 billion Tao crystals. There was no doubt that this matter would shake the entire Eastern Heaven. If this bounty is issued, the sect master of the pill sect would have to be extremely careful when he goes out in the future. If he is careless, his head would fall to the ground. Are you questioning my decision? Ning Fan's tone turned cold. The rogue immortal pavilion master's expression immediately changed. He cupped his fists and said, Don't worry, Senior. I will immediately report this matter to the palace. Within 3 days, this bounty will certainly be spread to every slaughter pavilion in the entire Eastern Heaven. Very good. Ning Fan nodded his head in satisfaction. Then he shifted his gaze and said to Yuan Chenzi, There are indeed quite a lot of heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures in the heavenly water star. Unfortunately, I don't have many Tao crystals left and I don't have enough money to buy anything else. Thus, I have no choice but to leave now. If I have some spare money in the future, I will certainly visit the heavenly water star again. Hee. If fellow Taoist Qian Qiu comes to the heavenly water star again, I will certainly welcome you with open arms. Yuan Chenzi chuckled and cupped his fists at Ning Fan. The other life immortal realm experts also cupped their fists at Ning Fan. Ning Fan returned the greeting with cupped fists. Then, he turned into a ray of light and flew out of the slaughter pavilion, leaving the heavenly water star. Only when Ning Fan had truly left did Yuan Chenzi and the others put away their unnatural smiles and let out a long sigh of relief. This malefic star has finally left. However, I really didn't expect that this malefic star would actually be willing to spend 100 billion Tao crystals on the sect master of the pill sect. I wonder what kind of deep grudge he has with that sect. Hee. What does it have to do with us if he has any grudges with the sect master of the pill sect? As long as he doesn't come and massacre my heavenly water star, everything will be fine. If the news of this reward is spread, I'm afraid the Eastern Heaven will be stirred up again. Ning Fan left the heavenly water star all the way and found an abandoned star in the faraway star region to temporarily settle down. With a flash, he entered the profound Yin world. He was not in a hurry to enter the Heaven Emperor star region. He wanted to wait for the news of him spending all his Tao crystals to spread. If the news of him spending all his Tao crystals spreads, those peak stage crossing truth old monsters and Shikong realm old monsters would no longer seek trouble with him. If the news of him spending all his Tao crystals spreads, the sect master of the pill sect would probably not have a good life anymore. Ning Fan was never a person who liked to swallow insults and humiliation. The pill sect had placed a bounty of 10 billion on his head, causing him to be surrounded by dangers along the way. Therefore, he decided to give them a taste of their own medicine and put up a bounty of 100 billion Tao crystals to make the sect master of the pill sect unable to live in peace. The grudge between him and the pill sect had long been irreconcilable. While waiting for the news to spread, Ning Fan did not mind cultivating the 3 flowers converging prominence technique. After annihilating the Yao clan and buying all the 1 million years old spiritual herbs in the heavenly water star, Ning Fan had a total of 256 tufts of them. He wondered if he could make the 4th petal of the lead-colored lotus flower bloom with so many spiritual herbs. If the 4th petal turns lead-colored, Ning Fan's 3 flowers converging prominence technique would be able to defend against the attack of any mid-human profound realm life immortal realm expert. He could even defend against the attack of a late human profound realm life immortal realm expert. Refine. Ning Fan sat cross-legged in the profound Yin world and pointed out a finger. 1 million lotus shadows hovered around his body. Then he took out the first tuft of 1 million years old spiritual herb and began to slowly refine its medicinal power. Then he injected the medicinal power into the lotus shadows. Chapter 728. Evil Flower 3 Devils, You're Going Too Far. Inside the alchemy sect's main hall, the alchemy sect's sect master's eyes were filled with rage. He smashed the jade table beside him into pieces with a palm strike. How could he not be angry? How could he not be angry? Now, the entire Eastern Skies cultivators already knew that he, the dignified Pill Faction sect master, had a bounty of 100 billion. It was unknown how many old monsters wanted to take his life in exchange for the bounty. Especially the evil flower three devils, they were extremely detestable. These evil flower three devils were Eastern Skies' infamous devils. The three of them had the cultivation of crossing Truth Peak. The three of them were proficient in a secret combination attack. When they joined forces, they could even fight an early-stage Shitsong True Immortal. The evil flower trio devils were already unhappy with the Pill sect. Now that they heard that the Pill sect leader had been given a reward of 100 billion, the evil flower trio devils wanted to kill the Pill sect leader in exchange for the reward. That day, the sect master of the Pill faction wanted to head out to search for medicine. The moment he stepped out of the faction, he was ambushed by the three devils and nearly died in their hands. If it wasn't for the fact that the Pill faction's protective array was strong enough to defend against the evil flower scattered demon, if the Pill faction sect leader hadn't escaped so quickly and returned to the array, he would have definitely died at the hands of the evil flower scattered demon. The evil flower three devils have gone too far, but the one who has gone too far is that brat Chenchio. I didn't expect it. I put a bounty of 10 billion on him, so he put a bounty of 100 billion on me. Haha. I was actually schemed against by a void fragmentation realm kid and almost died outside the sect. This is really infuriating. The alchemy sect's sect master was so enraged that a mouthful of blood gushed up his throat. He spat it out and half knelt on the ground. A few life immortal realm cultivators immediately rushed over and tried to help the Pill faction's sect leader up. However, they were forced to retreat by the Pill faction's sect leader's ferocious gaze. Scram! The aura of the early stage of crossing truth spread out. The few life immortals felt a pain in their chests. They coughed out blood and retreated. They couldn't get close to the sovereign. The sect leader of the alchemy faction laughed coldly as he looked at the few of them. At this moment, he didn't trust anyone and wouldn't allow anyone to get close to him. He had always been cold-blooded and merciless to his subordinates. Who knew if there was someone in the sect who had been dissatisfied for a long time and wanted to cut off his head and exchange it for a reward? Gradually, the alchemy sect's sect leader calmed down. After all, he was an early-stage crossing truth true immortal and a silver core 9th revolution pill master. His state of mind had always been steady. If it wasn't because of Ning Fan's repeated provocations, his state of mind would not be in a mess. Old ancestor Qianxiu, is it? Ehe, this old man has really underestimated you. Slaughtering the Yao clan and buying my head with 100 billion? You're really something. The sect leader of the alchemy faction returned to his seat and sneered, Unfortunately, if you think you can kill me by spending 100 billion, then you are gravely mistaken. Don't forget that I'm a silver core 9th revolution pill master. With this old man's pill refinement skills, as long as I pay a small price, I can invite old monster Shikong over to exterminate the evil flower 3 devils and intimidate them. As long as I kill the evil flower 3 devils, those who want to kill me will have to think twice. An 8th revolution pill refinement master could concoct pills required by life immortal realm cultivators. The 9th revolution pill refinement master was divided into 4 grades: lead pill master, silver pill master, gold pill master, and sovereign pill master. A lead pill master could refine pills needed by a true immortal of the true crossing realm. A silver pill master could refine pills needed by a true immortal of the void realm. A gold pill master could refine pills needed by a thought-fragmenting realm true immortal. A sovereign pill master could only be found by luck. They could even refine pills needed by an immortal emperor. The sect leader of the alchemy faction was a silver core pill refinement master. It was enough to invite old monster Shikong over. However, the price needed to invite old monster Shikong would definitely not be lower than 100 billion Dao crystals. As long as the sect leader of the alchemy faction was willing to pay the price, It would naturally be enough to kill the evil flower 3 devils and slightly intimidate the others. Even so, it was hard to guarantee that no other devils would be interested in his head and secretly attack him. From today onwards, this old man cannot leave the alchemy faction without permission. If I have to leave for urgent matters, I must invite old monster Shikong to accompany me and protect me. Damn you, Qianxiu. This old man will never forget this grudge. 100 billion, is it? This old man will reward you with 200 billion Dao crystals and let you taste my pain. The sect leader of the alchemy faction sneered and muttered to himself. The life immortal realm subordinates below him changed their expressions and tried to dissuade him. Sect leader, you can't. It's not worth it to spend 200 billion Dao crystals for a mere Qianxiu. Sect leader, don't forget that in order to obtain the item in the extreme Dan sacred region, we will need a large number of Dao crystals. Hearing this, the sect leader's anger gradually subsided. He remained silent for a long time. After a while, he nodded and said, "You're right. The trip to the extreme Dan sacred region is very important. If I can obtain that item, I will have a great chance to cultivate the Golden Core Pill Refinement Master and even the Sovereign Pill Refinement Master in this life. I can't spend too many Dao crystals for a Qianxiu kid, it will affect the plan." After obtaining that item, this old man will make arrangements to deal with this Qianxiu kid. Now, all my energy should be spent on the extreme Dan sacred region. In the North Sea Star region, outside a true immortal forbidden place called the extreme Red North Abyss, a wretched old man covered in blood walked out of the true immortal forbidden place and flew towards a nearby high-grade cultivation planet. As soon as he entered the cultivation planet, the old man heard a shocking news. His gloomy face because he couldn't find the longevity jade suddenly became joyful. "Ha! This brat is really something." He actually spent 100 billion Dao crystals to reward the sect leader of the alchemy faction. Good. The wretched old man who laughed heartily was Qian Kaiyan and Wei Wuji. To be precise, Qian Kaiyan was just a pseudonym. Wei Wuji was his real name. The reason why he changed his name to Qian Kaiyan was because he was a man who was greedy for money. Many people couldn't understand why a wretched old man who was greedy for money could cultivate his pill refinement to the 9th Revolution Silver Core realm. He was only a step away from the 9th Revolution Golden Core realm. That brat has brought Nuan Air to the Slaughter Palace to get the jade. He is indeed sincere to Nuan Air. She has a good eye. Unfortunately, I can't get the jade from Slayer Emperor. This old man can't pin his hopes on him. I must find the longevity jade in the true immortal forbidden place. Damn it, old Xianji clearly said that there is a trace of the Eternal Emperor's aura here. This old man has searched everywhere but couldn't find the whereabouts of the longevity jade. Instead, I found a damaged magical treasure used by the Eternal Emperor, but it's useless. Sigh. I should go and find old Xianji to see if there are any other traces of the Eternal Emperor's aura. After letting out a long sigh, Wei Wuji took a step forward and merged with heaven and earth. He displayed the ground shrinking technique and vanished without a trace. His cultivation base was at the mid-crossing truth realm. In the immortal soul planet of the ancient star region, Wu Chen looked at the information in his hand. His cold eyes finally revealed a hint of a smile. "Ha! You're indeed Brother Ning. Slaughtering the Yao clan and placing a bounty on the sect master of the Pill sect. Even I wouldn't dare to do such a thing easily. Brother Ning, I hope you can deal with Elder Qing Yun's accusation. You have the death exemption token. Elder Qing Yun won't dare to kill you in public, but it's hard to guarantee that he won't use other methods to deal with you." When he thought that Ning Fan had offended Elder Qing Yun, his eyes gradually showed a hint of worry. In the profound Yin world of the heavenly water star region, 10 days had passed. Ning Fan had completely refined all the 1 million years old spiritual herbs. His body was enshrouded in a dense white mist. The lotus shadows that filled the sky turned into a lotus flower that was about an inch long and floated in front of Ning Fan. Ning Fan's hand seals changed continuously. On the lotus flower, the 4th petal among the 12 petals was turning into a lead color. Eventually, The fourth petal completely turned into a lead color. All of a sudden, the lotus flower became heavier and its defensive power became stronger. The flower has bloomed into 4 petals. It's done. Ning Fan opened his eyes and nodded with satisfaction. He changed his hand seals again and the lotus flower turned into a lead-colored flowing shadow that flew away. With a sway of his body, Ning Fan left the profound Yin world. He had no intention to stay in the heavenly water star region for a long time. He took out the Heaven Emperor star plate that he had casually bought on the heavenly water star region and opened the star door all the way to the Heaven Emperor star region. The reason why Ning Fan had placed a bounty of 100 billion on the sect master of the Pill sect was because of his character of seeking revenge for the smallest grievance. He also knew that his action might cause the Pill sect to seek revenge even more ferociously. However, he was not afraid of it. He had never been afraid of it. After passing through the Heavenly Water Star region and crossing the Heaven Emperor Star region, he would arrive at the Blood Sea Star region. In the Blood Sea Star region, it was forbidden for anyone to attack the cultivators who are participating in the disciple recruitment ceremony. As long as he reaches the Blood Sea Star region, Ning Fan would not be afraid no matter how ferocious the sect master of the Pill sect is. After entering the Heaven Emperor Star region, Ning Fan did not stay for long. He directly flew towards the Blood Sea Star region. The strength of the Heaven Emperor Star region was too strong. Even true immortal Shikong could occasionally bump into them. Ning Fan really did not want to cause any trouble in this place. After traveling crazily for 7 days, he finally arrived at the Blood Sea Star region. It was the largest star region that Ning Fan had ever seen after entering the heavenly dwelling. A single Blood Sea Star region could almost accommodate 100 high-grade star regions. Each of the cultivation planets was glowing with a faint blood-red light. In the empty starry sky, one could see blood-red galaxies everywhere. This was an imperial star region which was different from ordinary star regions. Due to the vastness of this star region, every cultivation planet that was at the mid-grade and above was equipped with a teleportation formation. With a teleportation formation, it would not take too much time for cultivators to head to the main star of the Blood Sea Star region. The Blood Sea Star region was where the main hall of the Slaughter Palace was located. The domain-locking grand formation of the Blood Sea Star region was extremely powerful. Unless one was an immortal emperor, one could not break through the formation light by force. After letting out a sigh, Ning Fan walked towards the formation door of the Blood Sea Star region. As soon as he walked out of the formation door, 2 ghost-masked assassins immediately locked their killing intent on Ning Fan. These 2 ghost-masked assassins had the cultivation of Duzhen late stage. Take him down! As soon as the 2 ghost-masked assassins gave an order, more than 100 blood-robed life immortals who were guarding the formation door immediately surrounded Ning Fan. Each of them wore a cold expression while their killing intent was surging. Ning Fan's eyes darkened slightly. Without saying a word, he patted his soul pouch and summoned all of his primordial spirits. Seeing this, the expressions of the 2 ghost-masked assassins changed slightly. Their eyes were filled with hesitation. I came here just to participate in the disciple recruitment ceremony of the Slaughter Palace. I wonder which rule have I violated? Why are you guys attacking me? Ning Fan's voice was loud and clear without the slightest hint of fear. Some of the cultivators who were preparing to enter the Blood Sea Star region could not help but admire Ning Fan's courage when they saw that he was not afraid even in the face of such a large group of people. Why are you asking when you already know the answer? You've massacred the Yao clan and offended Elder Qing Yun. We've been waiting for you here for a long time under Elder Qing Yun's order to bring your head back to the palace. One of the ghost-masked assassins pondered for a while and answered honestly. To be honest, when he saw Ning Fan summoning all of his primordial spirits in the sky, he was already quite fearful of Ning Fan. Yao Qing Yun's order, huh? Ning Fan seemed to have already guessed the result. Without saying much, he patted his storage pouch and took out an item. As soon as they saw Ning Fan's action, the expressions of all the life immortals changed slightly. They were afraid that Ning Fan would take out some earth-shattering item and start a frenzied massacre. Even the 2 true immortal realm assassins became vigilant. If Ning Fan really took out some heaven-defying item, they would definitely not give him the time to use it. Even if they would be severely injured by the Spirit Blast technique, they would still forcefully capture Ning Fan. Unfortunately, they were all wrong. The item that Ning Fan took out was not an offensive treasure but a token. It was a scarlet golden token. The word exemption was engraved on the token. It was written in divine seal script. The death exemption token. Why do you have this token? Shouldn't this token be in the hands of the descendant of the Wu clan? The two ghost-faced true immortals said in disbelief. Ning Fan did not answer them about the origin of the death exemption token. He did not want to mention Wu Chen's name. He did not want to drag Wu Chen into the grudge between him and Yao Qingyun. With this token in my hands, even Yao Qingyun cannot attack me. Do you dare to attack me? Ning Fan asked with a clear voice. We dare not. The two ghost-faced true immortals said reluctantly. They were under Yao Qingyun's order to kill Ning Fan before he enters the Blood Sea Star region. Because once Ning Fan enters the Blood Sea Star region, they would not be allowed to attack him according to the rules of the Slaughter Palace. To outsiders, the cultivators of the Slaughter Palace had no regard for the law. Internally, the cultivators of the Slaughter Palace obeyed the orders of the palace without daring to disobey them. Since Ning Fan had the death exemption token, even Shadi himself would not dare to take his life. Therefore, it was even more impossible for them to attack Ning Fan. Each of the experts of the Slaughter Palace gritted their teeth and kept their magic treasures and weapons. Ning Fan saw their expressions and nodded with satisfaction. As he expected, this death exemption token could really save his life. With this token, even Yao Qingyun would not be able to kill him. After keeping the death exemption token and the primordial spirits that filled the sky, Ning Fan walked past each of the life immortals and the ghost-faced true immortals without fear. He passed through the formation door and entered the Blood Sea Star region. Many cultivators who were watching the scene were shocked. Outsiders would not know what the death exemption token was. They were very surprised that Ning Fan took out a token and all the assassins of the Slaughter Palace did not dare to attack him. What exactly is that token? Many old monsters began to guess. No wonder Ning Fan dared to massacre the Yao clan and offend Yao Qingyun. It turns out that he has a life-saving item in his hands. Some of the Eastern Skies geniuses who were preparing to participate in the disciple recruitment ceremony looked at Ning Fan's back and smiled bitterly. Without a doubt, Ning Fan was the dark horse that emerged in this disciple recruitment ceremony. He was a super dark horse who had slaughtered 146 life immortals and 80,000 void fragmentation realm experts. He was a dark horse who could make true immortals fear him and the assassins of the Slaughter Palace not dare to act recklessly. With Ning Fan around, no one had the confidence to get the first place in the competition. Is he really that scarred man? Brother Qizhen, you're not lying to me, are you? Among the crowd, Chu Yen, who was dressed in snow-white robes, asked in disbelief. How could she believe that the scarred man whom she looked down upon in the past was actually the person whose name had shaken the eastern sky today? Old Devil Chen Qiu. He's the scarred man whom we met that day. Qi Zhen's eyes darkened. He had never thought that Ning Fan could massacre the entire Yao Clan Star region and make such a powerful name for himself. Initially, he thought that the chances of him winning against Ning Fan would be 50-50 if he fought him. However, looking at Ning Fan now, he felt that his chances of winning were definitely less than 10%. The premise of this 10% chance was that Ning Fan did not use any profound ghost realm attacks or true immortal realm attacks or the spirit blast technique. With him around, I'm afraid there's no doubt who will get the first place in this competition. Qi Zhen let out a long sigh. Not necessarily. Brother Qi, you still don't seem to know that that person has suddenly changed his mind and betrayed the Deep Earth sect. Now, he wholeheartedly wants to join the Slaughter Palace. He will appear in this competition. He Chu said in a low voice. What? That person will come? Qi Zhen's expression changed slightly. Then, his eyes turned solemn. Without the Spirit Blast technique, old ancestor Qian Qiu might not be a match for that person. Even though that person is at the early mortal profound realm, he is already invincible within the mid-human profound realm. Unfortunately, old ancestor Qian Qiu knows the spirit blast technique. Even if that person comes, he won't be a match for old ancestor Qian Qiu unless the competition prohibits the use of the spirit blast technique. But how is that possible? Ning Fan naturally had no idea that someone was talking about him behind his back. After successfully entering the Blood Sea Star region, he held the Blood Sea Star plate in his hand and flew towards a certain mid-grade cultivation planet. After arriving at that mid-grade cultivation planet, Ning Fan spent 1 million Dao crystals and borrowed the Starry Sky teleportation formation to teleport to a cultivation planet that was extremely far away. 3 days later, Ning Fan arrived at the Blood Sea Star. It was an Emperor star which was way too massive. It was slightly bigger than the Black Tortoise star in Ning Fan's memory. Countless beams of light came and went, going in and out of the Blood Sea Star. The cultivators who were patrolling outside the Blood Sea Star were at least at the life immortal realm. Some of them were even at the true immortal realm. When they saw Ning Fan's arrival, all of them wore a surprised expression. What they were surprised about was that Ning Fan dared to come to the Blood Sea Star region. Ning Fan had offended Elder Qin Yun, but he still dared to come to the Blood Sea Star region. It showed that he was extremely courageous. There were clearly so many experts guarding outside the Blood Sea Star region. None of them would let Ning Fan enter the Star region alive. However, he still managed to enter. It showed that he had extraordinary capabilities. Even though they did not know how Ning Fan entered the Blood Sea Star region, they understood that he had come here to participate in the grand competition. According to the rules of the Slaughter Palace, even Elder Qin Yun was not allowed to attack Ning Fan unless the grand competition ends. The Blood Sea Star would never check the identity of the visitors because no one had ever dared to behave atrociously in the Blood Sea Star. If someone dares to behave atrociously in this star region, the Slaughter Palace would not even need to ask about that person's identity. They could just directly eliminate that person. Ning Fan's gaze swept across a group of patrolling immortal cultivators and sighed softly. The life immortal realm cultivators of the Slaughter Palace are really as numerous as dogs. My peak void fragmentation realm cultivation base is probably nothing in the eyes of the Slaughter Palace. With a flash of traveling light, Ning Fan flew across the layers of blood mist of the Blood Sea Star and entered the territory of the star. Then, he flew towards the largest cultivation city on the star. It was a gigantic blood-red city. Even though he had yet to enter the star, he could still see a palace with towering blood qi in the city from afar. That palace was the main hall of the Slaughter Palace. That gigantic blood-red city was called the Slaughter City. This year's disciple recruitment competition would be held here. Ning Fan descended at the city gate. The guards at the city gate were 2 ghost-faced true immortals. As soon as they saw Ning Fan's appearance, their eyes flickered but they did not say anything. An extremely uneasy feeling suddenly rose in Ning Fan's heart. He walked towards the city gate step by step. Just as he was about to enter the Slaughter City, all of a sudden, an incomparably terrifying baleful qi fiercely locked onto Ning Fan. In just an instant, Ning Fan's qi was in a mess. His eyes were dyed blood red by that baleful qi. It was Ning Fan's first time being invaded by someone else's baleful qi. The strength of the opponent's baleful qi was far stronger than Ning Fan's. It was not just a little bit stronger. Both of them were at completely different levels. Are you the one who killed the entire Yao clan? The cold voice of a young man suddenly entered Ning Fan's ears. Ning Fan lifted his head and looked towards the direction of the voice. Unknowingly, 2 figures had appeared at the city gate. One of them was a young man in silver robes. His appearance was handsome but his eyes were extremely ruthless. He was staring at Ning Fan with intense killing intent. He was the one who said those words just now. However, he was not the one who released that baleful qi. The name of the young man in silver robes was Yao Li. He was a member of the Yao clan. As he had left the Yao clan a long time ago and came to the Blood Sea Star region, he managed to escape from this calamity. Beside Yao Li stood a lady in green robes. She was extremely beautiful, but her expression was too cold. Her green robes were embroidered with faint cloud patterns. Her breasts were protruding and she looked extremely beautiful. Her footsteps were light and soft. She walked towards Ning Fan step by step. Each of her steps brought Ning Fan an unstoppable aura force. Her eyebrows were too faint and her fine black hair was tied up casually with a green hairband. All of the baleful chi was released by this lady. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Every time she took a step, Ning Fan's chest would be hit by an invisible force. He felt indescribable pain, but he was not injured at all. She already knew that Ning Fan had the death exemption token which forbade her from harming him. Therefore, she did not hurt him, but she wanted to teach him a lesson. And this lesson was just the beginning. One day, she would take Ning Fan's life as a sacrifice to the members of the Yao clan. Is it you who massacred the Yao clan? Her voice was very pleasant to the ears. It was cold and clear like a clear spring and gurgling like flowing water. It was unforgettable. However, when that voice entered Ning Fan's ears, it was like a clap of thunder. He felt another wave of intense pain. If she wanted to, she could make his sea of consciousness explode. However, she did not do that. She could not hurt him. She could only give him endless pain. Remember, I am Yao Qingyun. The death exemption token can't protect you. Today is just a lesson. Everything has just begun. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.